awesome. Live, it's working great. This background's looking pretty cool. In any case, my name is Chris Palmer with chrispalmer.org. Today's video, of course, is going to be the weekly SEO Mastermind here on YouTube. This will be from 4 to 6 p.m. each and every Thursday. Now, as we get later, or as we get more members, the objective here will be to share some live across for everyone. And then the second half will be for members only, all right, until we get to capacity. So with that being said, if you have any questions or anything that I can help with, please feel free to go ahead and put it into the comment section. I'll run it across the screen here. These videos do get moved to the member section. So, it's not like it's going to be broadcasted across the entire planet, right? That would be cool if it did though, right? I wish we could get to more people. That would be helpful. But with that being said, the White Hat Warrior is here. Somebody said, because we're offering a very helpful service for real business owners that are having trouble. Business owners that are having trouble. They have a real business. Let's just say it's a carpet cleaner in Denver. They have a business. They've been in business 10 years, and out of the blue, a listing shows up in front of them with an exact match, no reviews, and maybe a phone number. I think, why wouldn't I want to help the business owner that has dedicated their existence to performing a specific service to the community that they live in? Why wouldn't I want to help them? That makes me a White Hat Warrior, then I'm a White Hat Warrior. With that being said, let's go back down into here and let's get some questions rolling here. I don't know why this lighting, I had this on last night and it looked spectacular. I tested it. Maybe I have to stop moving around so much. That might help. Let's go to the chat here and let's see here what we have cooking. Dear Jones. Big, can you demonstrate the technique of writing an article using all zeros? I'll do you one better. What we're going to do is we're going to finish off a training until we get some questions in here. And we'll see what's going on here. So I actually have something I can showcase. We'll go right into that page. We have the content finished. We have maybe 1 or 2 more videos that we want to add. This will give you enough time to maybe put some questions in. Maybe I can help you out. If there's something you want me to look at, let me know. We'll take a look at it together. We can audit, hot seat, answer questions. If not, we'll work on this specific training. All right. So either way, I hope to be as helpful or useful as possible. That's the primary objective here, right? So we do have SEO brands. Here, I'll answer this and then we'll get right over there for you, Adair Jones. All right. So why is this look like this? Here, let's, how's that? Here, let me see one thing. Okay. How's that? That's a little bit better, Chris, but you can't win them all, right? All right, so the question here comes from SEO Brands. And SEO Brands says, I've noticed that many companies who are in the top 3 positions of GBP, that they have so many more services listed on their GBP than within their website. You said that it's not good. Is that right? So there's no question that you get a temporary boost. And I know without a shadow of a doubt, because we tested this specific task, right? We tested it within our group and we wanted to know, hey, does adding these services really give you a boost? Because it was like months back, it was all the rage, right? I saw numerous videos coming out, in the search community on Facebook. It was all over like, oh, adding this does this, right? Okay. So we tested it out. We added in the business services to see, hey, would we get a boost for those specific keywords that showed up in the services? And the answer was absolutely you do. But this was less. This was 12 days. It was a 12-day slight boost. And we're not talking about going from nowhere to hero. This was a slight boost in a very tight, mind you too, if we're running a map grid, this was in a tight location. I don't recall at the top of my head exactly how far, but it wasn't like we were covering a 20-mile radius. So we got a slight boost for less than 14 days in a very small area, but we did get a boost. So I could see them maybe taking a run at maybe trying to get some influence, right? But when I get a client, we're not looking to stuff services in there. If they're in there, or if maybe the client adds it in, we're looking to remove it other than the services that are being provided or listed on the site. Now, this may contradict videos from 6 months ago where it was like, hey, we're looking to put the primary because these are considered custom. But when I quickly realized that they're reading this homepage consistently and I'm getting rewarded as long as it's on the site, well, then, of course, I want to be rewarded. I was getting long-term success by adding services that are within the actual drop-downs or within the homepage in the navigational menu or mentioned within the homepage. So, of course, I list those as services because also within the product section, we're then going to link to those top-level pages that are showcasing those specific services, right? So, and that's what we run with, and that's it. All right. So here, I'll bang these out. I hope that helps you out, by the way. All right. So we'll move into the next question here. So more than SEO. So more than SEO says new client is local med spa. Here, let's crack one of these bad boys. Now I'm trying this out for the very first time, and we're going to go ahead and try this together. So I don't know if you even know what this is. I'm not promoting it or anything. It's my first time trying it. So this is a Prime. They had the energy drinks, and little Chris and I love them. They're delicious. So they just started carrying these at my favorite grocery, and it's Prime Energy Ice Pop. So I've had their Ice Pop hydration drink that doesn't have caffeine in it, and it's delicious. So what we're going to do here is we're going to try this together. Ready? Now, I generally have my Ghost Energies, but I wanted to try something new. Let's try it together. Ready? It's pretty good. All right, moving on. The hydration drink tastes better, though. That has a funky aftertaste. That's out of here. Oh man, I'm disappointed now. So the initial taste was delightful, but then it has like it has a taste. Anyway, back to SEO. More importantly, this question coming in from more than SEO. New client has a local med spa, Botox, etc. I want to point this out. Getting Haro or Connectively, featured posts, outreach links, press releases for Botox is massively difficult. So that's one piece of it. Moving on. With a ton of before and after pictures on Facebook. Yeah. So once I get all the images in a folder, do you still see SEO advantage to using Flickr and image sites for links? I do. If they have to be unique to you and your brand. So that's one aspect of it. But let's take away that the links are coming from an image site or whomever. Do I still feel that there's value to getting or acquiring referring domains that will help boost my brand? Definitely. Now, if some of those links out of the dozens or hundreds that you might acquire include image sites, then okay, it includes image sites. All right, so hopefully that helps you out. All right. Moving into Profit Tile and Stone. With Google's major update, people and businesses are backing out of contracts from agencies. Any idea on this update and what it's going to look like for business? Google's major update, people and businesses are backing out of their contracts. Contracts as far as SEO, right? So from agencies. I've never been... I think that's been going on for a very consistent time. I quickly realized when I entered not just doing the monthly stuff, but it was always month to month. But as we started to scale our business and learned many lessons along the way, what I quickly realized is that I believe, this is just my own notion, that business owners quickly realize that the initial and a large burst of the work is done in those early months, right? Also, too, it just doesn't make sense for a business owner. Like, why would I want to pay a significant amount of money each and every month, and then have the work slowly but surely, like, like they're showing ranking reports, but where's the deliverable? Where's that equal exchange? Like, what exactly did you do? Right? Like, they land a contract, they do a bunch of work, and then they just sit. Right? I've had many clients. I wish more. Hopefully, as time progresses and as my systems get a lot better, as I become better at the business aspect of the SEO, we can handle more. But I dislike that. I've had lots of business owners come to me. They dislike that, long monthly contract, and then there's nothing to show. Like, yeah, they give a report, but what's the deliverable? What's the equal exchange for the work? So I've been seeing this forever. So I don't know if it's due to the updates, or is it just due to the marketplace or the actual customer avatar changing over the course of time, right? Hey, Keith, good to see you. So Adir has another question, and don't think I forgot about your quadruple zero question. I didn't. We're going to work on that, but let's get through some of these. I'm going to try to get through all of them, and then we'll move in. But can you link out to an authority site just from the footer, or should the links be in the article body? So can you link out? Of course. You can link out from the footer, the body, the header. You can hide the link. You can link from wherever you want. You're the webmaster. Now, here's the difference, though. So the footer link, okay, linking to an authority, that's generally site-wide unless you're making individual footers, right? So that's one thing. The other aspect to that is that the body content is the best placed, or a contextual body link is more powerful. So would I want to give a site-wide footer link as opposed to a body link? I wouldn't want to give up this footer link, but do I really want to give up a contextual, powerful link from in the body? I would be mindful of this. I want you to note this. If on my website, I link out to my maps, I link to a Google, maybe Facebook, you probably link to your socials, Facebook, right? Who knows? Multiple social sites, probably your maps, maybe your YouTube, who knows? But what's more authoritative than these sites? And wouldn't that already be counted as an outbound authoritative link? If the outbound authoritative links gave us even more credibility and or trust, just saying. So that's one piece of it. But if we're going to link out, then I would put it in the body, not in the footer site-wide. Let's move on. All right. SEO brands, it helped. Okay. No more All right. So robots. So Keith, absolute great guy, has a carpet company. He's shaking and moving. So he, as far as performing SEO, he's already got the business side down. Now he's doing more SEO. So he's got the robots is removed. We're hoping to help him set up SEO Press, which shouldn't be an issue. I think I've set up SEO Press now enough times to perhaps maybe do it with like one eye. Not in my sleep yet. So SEO brand. So thank you for answering it. Of course, that's why I'm here, to help you. And please, if there's something in particular I could help you with, let me know. That's the objective here. All right. So anything that I can help you with, let me know, and I'll be more than happy to help you. That's what this time is dedicated for. All right. It's group consulting. That's the objective. So more than SEO. Sports Bar got approved as official watch party on. Did GBP update with link to their listing on in 24 hours ranking for you? Is this something repeatable? Sports Bar got approved. Okay. We don't know what else went on there. Is it repeatable? Perhaps, but we don't know where else that was changed or updated. We don't know how big their email list to say, hey, this is our official. Like, is it truly the official? Is it big? Are they linked in with them? Like, there's multiple factors there in order to understand what truly happened. And then two, like, did they just call themselves the official? Is it truly the official? Are they attached to them? I don't know these questions. But what I'm getting at here is we don't know what else off-site or out of the GBP or off their website, or we don't know what else went on, right? Because if it's as big as that brand itself, and this is truly the official, right? Then that would mean that it was mentioned somewhere else. And if that's the case, that means there was multiple eyeballs, multiple links, multiple people coming to that. So of course it would shoot right up. Why wouldn't it? So is that repeatable? I'm sure it is. But could you repeat, or does your plumbing company have that same recognition? Right? So maybe to a degree you can make that happen. And I'm just using plumbing as, that was just an example. All right. So eLancer says, a complete guide on how to get SEO remote jobs and what to do for it. How to get SEO remote jobs. All right. I can only reference what worked for me until I was able to get continuous referrals, right? And I if you go back really, really far on the channel, like I've even showcased, like we had multiple Fivers, like multiple with several hundred reviews. And if you become a top provider in one specific category, like let's say, for instance, you're doing video graphics and you become a top, level 1, level 2, we're talking about Fiverr. And as long as you have your browser always updating, that means you're online and you're a top provider. Okay. When you add a new service, it ranks, right? At least it did. So now you have Fiverr. There was numerous forums for SEO. And again, you can have multiple profiles. Let's say Blackout World is a big driver. Still to this day, we're in the marketplace. Not under Chris Palmer, because I've learned lessons about personal branding. But with that being said, marketplace selling, if you have something that's unique, it's very, very helpful. Buying signatures, posting and commenting in a particular category to where you're seen as a community expert, very helpful. Warrior Forum used to jump, Wicked Fire used to jump. I never ever found success within these Facebook groups or doing that type of work. That never did it for me. But the job boards, local papers, half-page ads, and then literally calling businesses. But then you have to know, like, how do you write a pitch? What are the objections? How do you cash an objection? Is it within actual arm's reach? Can I get to the business? So yeah, there's a lot of questions there for you, my friend. Glenart, enterprise SEO. Well, I don't really do too much enterprise, but I'll see how I can help you. We're looking at an enterprise SEO tools like Conductor and Bright Edge. Okay. I've never used either of those tools. I'm going to be honest with you. So where does they get the hardest ROI? I'm not the guy for this, Glenart. I don't want to. I'm not the guy for that question. I've never utilized those two tools. So I'm just not the guy for that. I don't do enterprise. We do large scale lead generation, but it's still local. Just because the site's bigger and we're targeting more locations doesn't mean anything, you know? Like it's just not my cup of tea. All right, more than SEO. Client sells state approved online driver ed courses to rank for state level keywords, online drivers in a state. Okay. Online driver ed. Isn't it driver ed? I had a client that they were just targeting one location. Driving education. But in any case, whatever the keyword that you decide to go for, is there actual volume there? And you don't find this by searching for keyword volume. You find this by searching for locations, doing the keyword research up front to look at the top performers that are in the positions that you want to be in and understanding which locations are actually driving traffic. That's a crucial step that I notice business owners skip. All right. So I just want to throw that out there. And then what are you seeing as ways to leapfrog competition and state government pages? Okay. Well, the state and government pages, I've noticed, at least in this particular instance that I can recall. Okay. I believe we were able to get listed on either the state or government as a registered. I think it was Michigan, to be honest, but we were registered. So that's that piece. Also, too, the customer or the customer avatar is already trained to go past those. They're looking for somebody to fill their need right away. On top of that, I noticed for driving school, there was a map pack, right? So maps get listed within the government and or educational outlet if you can, because the probability of you actually outranking them is highly unlikely, but the customer is looking for someone to service their need. So they might go there, but is there just information or is there a way to get actually listed there? If not, they're going to go to the next person. So I'd be looking to figure out where can I get to, right? Like if it's position 3 and that's an actual business, what I would do is go and take a look at that SERP. What are they actually receiving for that SERP? Because you'll look at their website and they might actually be getting 70% of their traffic for how much does driving education cost, right? I'm just using that as an example. So hopefully that helps you out. All right, target pest control. I just paid for Bright Local Citations. Do you offer the same links for a lower cost? They do have a good interface, but they are extremely expensive for citations. Okay, so I don't use Bright Local because we offer it ourselves. I'm always mindful when we're talking about someone else's brand or business because it's never to disparage another. They're in business too, right? So I want to be mindful of that. But with that being said, can we offer a lot of the same citations? There's only so many citation sources. Then you start getting into the realm of directories, niche directories, location directories, and then on top of that, Web 2.0, right? So can we offer the same? Yes, a general list is a general list. And can we do it for a lower cost? I believe so. So hopefully that helps you out. All right, more than thank you about the UFC. We'll dig deeper. There you are. All right, with crypto and gold hitting all-time high in recent weeks, we are seeing an increase for local keywords such as niche, which accepts crypto in a specific city, assuming client might accept such a payment method. In recent weeks, are you seeing an increase for local keywords such as niche, which accepts crypto? That hasn't came across my table. Not that I can say, no, that's not generally on A lot of these processors are starting to allow this, but until it hits more of a mainstream, a business owner isn't going to seek out a way to process that. It has to be built into, say, Stripe, or built into Chase Merchant Center or their merchant, right? Once that happens, and then we know that it's actually hit actual scale. Like if it's on Clover, or if it's on these point of sale, right? And I don't think that that's hugely widespread, and nor have I seen that as of yet. But there's lots of vendors that do it. But it's like a side, like, hey, we do this too. But no. The local plumbers, they're a lot of time, or whatever it is, even like the personal injury law firms that we work with, a lot of them are just starting to get hip to digital marketing, let alone, hey, let's add crypto, especially a lawyer. All right, let's move on. All right. But no, it's hasn't been coming up to me recently. And note, today's my mastermind day, so don't don't get too mad. But I need to take just 2 quick bites here, okay? Because my stomach's burning. So give me a sec. I was here all day, so give me a second. All right. Hey, Chris. This is coming from Gernard. Hey, Chris, going through one of your videos, noticed they had a Google map and a footer. Why is that? Because the client probably wanted it there. Oftentimes, if anything that we're going to deliberately do, it's going to be put a link. So why would we put a link or allow the embed to stay in place? Because we're looking to build, we want to be able to tell Google, hey, that's our asset, and that asset's linking back. That's all. Reciprocal linking. That's literally it. So whether it's an embed or API URL or embed URL, or whether it's just a URL back over to the asset, we're just looking for that reciprocal link to the asset that we control in order to convey to Google that, hey, that's ours, right? But is there some type of magical ticket? There's never. I've noticed this a lot with SEOs, some SEOs. It's never one thing. It's not just CTR or just links or just having tight on page. Your website's a piggy bank, right? The objective is to have it burst with pennies or quarters or whatever, right? But it's just that URL or that embed or that link is 1 penny into the bank that is your website. All right. We're looking to fill it up in order to find success. So that's why it's there, or why we left it there. All right, moving on. Also, follow-up question. You linked out to my GBP. I think I cleaned up almost all of them. But with that being said, is link out to your GBP. Oh, I see what you mean. From your internal pages to your internal page is a good idea if your page is tuned for a specific city. For instance, if you have a website that does one service, but you offer that service in multiple locations, and one of those locations is the GBP location, then yes, I want to link to that asset. But is it going to be hyper relevant or within my best interest to then do that from other pages? Not necessarily. Now, oftentimes, though, we will have that, say, footer link, and that will be site-wide. So I guess by default, you are linking to it. But am I deliberately looking to build that link? Again, no. No. But is it a good idea? It's neutral. Is that going to be the thing that takes you to the top? No, sir. No, it will not be. Moving on. Once a local business gets a GBP 5-star review and replies back quickly, then what are some best practices for next steps to maximize the benefit which each review can provide? All right. If the business owner, if the reviewers are repeating, hopefully, your primary terms or locations, or that you have quality service, I would look inside your review or top competitors in your space, in your city or another city, and look for bolded terms, trust words, or anything that's bolded, along with primary key terms and or locations. If I want to maximize when I'm putting up my testimonials or reviews, it can be a very good idea to then link to that review that's specifically talking about a specific thing. Let me show you exactly what I mean. All right. Let's take 2 seconds to go ahead and show you that. All right. So let me just do this, 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 and then this. All right, here, let me show you exactly what I mean so there's zero confusion. All right. Here, let's clear this out. All right. So when you look at a business, okay, let's just take a random business. Let's just say we're looking for personal injury law in, I don't know, NYC. All right, and I don't know who this is. This is just an example. All right. So we're taking a look at this. We're coming inside. And what we're going to look at here is let's get this one because there's a lot. All right. So we'll go down to reviews. See these words here? Law firm. Perfect. Right? We've had multiple instances of this being referenced. Law firm. So that means that 30 reviewers said the word law firm. When you click on this, it's going to show you the most relevant reviews for this, right? Law firm. So if we have a page that is optimized for law firm, probably the homepage, right? It's going to be the brand name, probably law firm comes up or company, or right? You get the point that I'm getting at here. These are the ones that we want to showcase, and then we would link to these. Okay. This is conveying massive relevance for not only the page, but also back to the asset. If we're looking to maximize what we have, this is one way to do it. The other piece, as far as, let's go back to this question here. Once a local business gets a 5-star review and replies quickly, then what are some best practices? I think that is the best practice. If you're just getting your first few, we would want to make sure that we want to showcase those reviews. We don't want to embed them. We don't want to use some kind of weird plugin that's pulling in the words. We want to take an image and then link to the asset. All right. So I hope that helps you out. But once you get multiple people saying the same type of words, especially if there's a page about it or talking about our brand or location, then we want to get those together so we can link to those specifically from that page. It's just back to that reciprocal, right? Not that links over, but the asset will. Also, too, that same exact theory. Let's go back to this. If we're back into here, as you click these URLs change. All right. We're always trying to build relevance back and forth. So utilizing this is going to be in your best interest regardless of the page. And you can use the same review more than once if you have to, based upon what's in that review. Okay. Hopefully that helps you out. All right, let's move on. Chris, how does the citations work? Do you get a business owner's email or anything to verify their email or create an email for them? Are there any double verify? Wondering how you handle this. Okay, that's a great question. So as far as citations are concerned, generally, unless you give us the details to an email and we can log in and it's great, what we're going to do is we're going to create an email and we're going to run through our list. We have a general list. The general list has 100 on it, I believe. And we're looking to we want to submit to all of them is what our objective is. But we sell like 25, 20, I think 50. Some business owners don't want all 100. So we can either use your email or create your own email. Aside from that, on top of that, if there's ones that are already out there, it would be in your absolute best interest to give those to us, unless you want us to build on top so we could freshen it up. It's up to you. All right. So hopefully that answers your question. As far as directories are concerned, that's an active submission. It's the same exact thing. Directories, though, you can generally submit without double verify. All right. Because that's really what separates, say, a Fiverr vendor that's doing, say, citations. Directories you can submit, right? That's attached to your actual profile. But citations that are double verify, like you have to have an email. It has to be attached to the business. You see, like a directories, I don't necessarily need your email, nor do you even have to worry about that. But citations, you could give it to us. If you don't, we're just going to go and create one for you and then give you username and password so you can log in, change stuff, add photos, do whatever you want. They're yours. Here, we did this for you. Directories, you can usually just submit, and then, that's it. Okay. Easy enough. Thank you. Luis Fernando. I like that name. I feel like I know you from somewhere. But in any case, Chris offers private sessions. If you have more questions, here, I have a link. Oh, yeah, it's just chrispalmer.org. I think it blocks those. It blocks links. It just depends. And a vast list of profanity. Not that any of us would use profanity, but if somebody decided to, it would block it. But thank you for being helpful, Lewis. Adir, do service and location pages need to point to info articles? Or can the articles just point up to the service pages and not be found within the site? Not have a blog on the site. So, all right. Let's talk about that briefly here. Once we get that. Here, let me let's look at this together briefly, okay? Just to address this quickly. I'll try to do my best at drawing here, okay? So if you have said site, right, and then you had said service page, and let's just say that these are blog articles or informational content, right? These articles are linking up to this. But on this service page, if you've taken the time to create, let's just say that you're a personal injury lawyer in, I don't know what this page, you're a personal injury lawyer. How much does a personal injury lawyer cost? That's this article. When should you hire a personal injury lawyer? That's this article. Who are some of the best personal injury lawyers? Who, what, when, why, where, how, and a best of list, right? Let's say you've executed that, but we only have 3 here. On this personal injury page, you would be listing in the sidebar or maybe within the body content. Maybe you made an itemized list, or maybe even have jump links at the top. Like, I think LawRank is one of them that does the jump links. Or go take a look at DUI attorney in LA, right? Jump links at the top going to multiple facets within their silo, right? If you've taken the time to create hyper relevant articles to the high commercial intent page, I want to link up definitely to answer that question, but I also want to link down to the asset. Why? Because this is helpful to the end reader. Not only that, I'm trying to build topical relevance or depth of concept is really what we're trying to do. We're building depth of concept. We want to link up and down. Okay. Hopefully that helps you out. All right, moving on. Where can I learn deep technical SEO? Where can you learn deep technical SEO? I think one of the first places to start is understand, because we're talking about a subset. Like there's server side stuff, and I think that's outside of the realm of the SEO job. But then there's technical. And I think with technical, if you go out and purchase, say, Screaming Frog or Deep Crawl, once you have one of these, or maybe even Sitebolt, who knows, whichever tool, but let's just say Screaming Frog, only because it's breaking down each aspect of the technical, right? Once you know what each of the tabs are, right? We understand that, oh, we're looking at meta. Okay, what's meta? It looks at every single little thing, every detail, block pages, 301s, the redirects, the href lang tags, the atom, like every little thing. I would go through that tool in each of the tabs for each little thing. And if there's something or a concept that you don't understand, Google is your absolute friend, right? Like how else I wouldn't follow my route of, okay, we get the tool and okay, we're going to do it. And then we're going to try stuff until we figure it out. Like all of the answers are out there, right? So get the tool because it's going to help you analyze a lot faster. Get the asset, whether you want to practice or maybe you're helping someone that's a trusted friend in case there's an error, right? Make sure you're doing your backups and then go through each of the elements. If you have a question that arises, I guarantee you there's either video content out there to help describe that issue or Google's your best friend. And that's how I would handle that. Like, but do I think that somebody has taken the time to go through the 2000? Have you ever seen, there's a lady out there. Her name is Annie. Everybody has been utilizing her. That's the blueprint that I've seen everywhere, right? Everybody and their brother uses that, right? There's like 2,000 things on that list. Most notably, these are 2,000 things that directly mirror the tool set. Okay? That's what I would do. All the answers are out there, right? So hopefully it helps you. Where can I learn? That's my best example, but I've never seen anybody take all 2,000 and go through them one by one to explain exactly what it is, why you're doing it, and here's how you deploy the task. If somebody were to do that, that would be a training worth several $1,000s because the amount of time that would take. My goodness, each thing, time. Anyway, moving on. Hey, can you give me some tips on how to optimize local directory pages with schema markup? Local directory pages with schema markup. Well, let's just say that we were looking to do schema markup for a local directory. My first task or my first order of business would be schema.org. When I go on to schema.org, I would take a look. Directory. All right, so there's one thing. The next element would be Google CH schema. All right. So I'm just pulling these things up so then you know exactly what needs to be done. So let's take a look here at the featured set, right? So is there anything in here that comes up on your page? What I mean by this is there an element to mark up on your page that shows up in this list? Yay or nay? Okay, I'm sure yes, of course there is. Okay, added. The next thing I would be looking for is, all right, who started all this? Schema.org, right? So is there specific, very specific markup for a directory? Is there a specific hierarchy that needs to be handled, right? Go on to Schema. There's a search bar right here, okay? Schema.org. Like you could take reference points from whomever you'd like online, but at the end of the day, anything that has to do with schema is right here, right? There's a hierarchy. You're marking up the items that are on the page. Google also outlines, okay, here's the items that you want to add to the page. And then the last piece of this particular analysis would be, all right, What type of directory are we creating? What market are we in? What is Google actually rewarding? Well, let's just say that you're looking for, let's just say it's restaurants or businesses of some sort, right? Well, what type of schema is being utilized? Oh, so they're marking this up. They have search action, the entry point. Okay, so their search action website. All right, organization. All I'm getting at here is, well, what type of schema markup is currently, I don't know what type of directory you want to create, but which schemas are truly being rewarded? Because at the end of the day, we're always trying to match and mirror. You might want to mark up some extra things, but the objective is to get traffic and to help whomever you're listing, right? Like that's the true goal. So do I want to spend a lot of time doing something that's not going to result in the goal? Or do I want to do exactly what Google's going to reward me for? Exactly what Google's going to reward me for. Take a look at the top players that are there. Once that's done, I would take a brief scan at schemamarkup.org or schema.org. Take a look around at hierarchies, anything to do with directories or any types that are listed within the top players. And then also, our good friends over here at Google will give you certain types that you get enhancements for. I would take a look at that. So all the information is right here. And what makes this even better, let's just say that for some reason, let's just say it's facts, right? Or whichever kind you're going to add. Oh, let's go back. Business types that we're just going to use this. Anything that says text is where it can be added. Let's scroll down here. Let's see what we got going on in here. More specific. I just want to see if there any ones that jump out for a directory. I've never had to look at a directory specifically, other than to create maybe for like a PBN, right? To make it look like it's a business directory in order to have multiple listings. But that's another talk for another day. Is there anything specific? And then, of course, they're going to give you the examples. Okay. And then also, too, what does Gemini say? What does, you can do a lot of searching really fast by coming over here to Gemini. Gemini is a Google product. Unlike some others, there's a lot that do this, but they're scanning actual data that's live today as opposed to trained on content from a long time ago. You can come in here. What schema markup should be used on a local directory? All right. And there's more than this model. There's tons, but I'm just giving you the suggestion to help you on your path, because this isn't exactly what I've ever done to say, oh, hey, do this, 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 and this. But if I were to do it, this is how I would start looking, right? That's the formula. So hopefully that helps you out. All right. So Gerard says, I know you only had a handful of e-com projects. That is a fact. And it's not your expertise. That is true. But can you go through some techniques that helped you in the field versus local SEO? Techniques that helped me in that field. I've spent so much time covering on-page SEO and backlink building. Is there a specific part in which aspect are you struggling with? Because the concepts or the foundation is the same. So if I was helping a rug company, like some of the things that really helped me out was, hey, maybe I don't need to index every single SKU or every single product or every product variation. Hey, within Shopify, the collection page is what we want to rank, not necessarily the product page. I'm just using this as a reference point. This might be different for you. But at the end of the day, all of the foundational elements that we talk about here a lot on page, making sure that the site's fast, the technical, introducing backlinks to the pages, all the foundational elements are identical. So let me know specifically, because it's a very broad question. How can I help you? And I would be more than happy to enlighten that. All right. Mahai, I can't If I butchered your name, Mahai, then I apologize up front. But hey, Chris, it would be helpful to make the monitor bigger in this scene. Like this? Is that good? Bigger in this scene. Maybe double the size? Thank you. Well, I hope that helped you out a little bit. Here, let me see how this works. If I go like this, and then this. Okay. This is new software for me, but thank you for mentioning that. So now you have to add and then click that. I guess that will take the full screen. And thank you for pointing that out. So now I know. And knowing is half the battle. G.I. Joe. I don't know if you ever watched G.I. Joe. That was a big hit back when I was a kid. G.I. Joe, He-Man, Thundercats, my favorite. Anyway, thank you for the answer about using GBP reviews. That helped. Well, thank you. I'm glad I could help. Can you see my question? It crossed the word count, so I couldn't submit it in the chat. Count? Well, hopefully you just didn't miss the O, because that would have took that word out. So I do see your question, but if you would have, just say it. It only takes out profanity and or URLs, but I am getting it, but I am using a new software. So if you missed, if it didn't show up for some reason, just throw it in again and I'll be happy to answer it for you and help you out however I can. All right. So, Gerard, is there any cons if you have the city links in the state page hidden in an accordion? The client doesn't like the way that looks, and I thought to hide it in there. Does the URL or the hyperlink show up in the render DOM? Yes. So will it be counted? Yes. But there's a magnitude of places you could put links, and Accordion is one of them, right? So it's being counted. You're getting credit for the A tag. There's other ways, but I can't recommend that in public fashion. But there's a lot of ways to also add the A tags. All right. So, a good friend of mine, Ted Kabitis, I think he tested each place on a web page one by one by one by one by one, right? Well, I'm sure he did it automated. But with that being said, I believe there's 200 areas that you can actually index a keyword, and a lot of those are hidden, right? So I said that to say this. You can put it into an accordion, and yes, it will be read, but there's a magnitude of places that you can add links that won't be seen. And W3 School is an excellent resource in order to see each of the elements that are within a page. All right, so I really hope that helps you out. But to answer your question specifically, definitely you can. I'm ranking number 1 for single word service plus keyword or service plus city. I don't have an actual location. Not sure what to do. Ranking number 1 for a single word service plus city. I don't have a location. What do I do? What do you do? Well, you're ranking number 1. I'm not sure exactly what you're asking me, right? You're ranking number 1 for a single word plus city, but you don't have a location. Okay, that's awesome. Right? Like, awesome, sweet. So we're ranking number 1 and hopefully generating leads or phone calls or traffic, but I don't have a locale. Well, the leads and the calls and the potential customers that are coming your way, can you service them? Can you help them? If yes, then great. What does the location have to do with anything? So I hopefully that helps you out. Can you run us through your PR service and what PRs do you provide and what info do you need so we can order from you? I dislike doing that type of stuff immensely. only because I'm an educational channel. However, since this is it's technically a private group. I don't mind covering that with you. So what do you want like me to showcase? Give me 1 second here. All right, give me just 1 second. So we can discuss the differences. All right, what the differences are. Just give me 1 second. All right. Here, we'll maximize this. Just give me 1 moment. Give me 1 moment, please, and I'll be happy to showcase that. Just give me 1 moment, and we'll do that. So let me just look this up so I can pull up reference points. Okay. Give me 1 moment. Almost there. PR. Okay. All right. All right. Give me 1 more moment. Almost there. All right. Go to here. I'm going to scroll on down here and pull this up. Primo intake form. All right. So let's, I'll share my screen and I'll be happy to walk you through that briefly. All right. So now that you can see the screen, so let's just say you land on chrispalmer.org. All right. And you scroll down to the bottom so you can see each of the services that we provide. And since we're on service, one of them that we provided now is a takedown service or a removal of spammy listings. But that's besides the point, because what we're talking about here is press releases. So when you land on chrispalmer.org, you just scroll down to the bottom or just click this button right here. Once down to the bottom of the page, we have 2 options. Now, the difference here is we have a basic press release distribution, which is great for top level or internal pages. They're golden. Aside from that, we also have premium, which will include more premium type links like Global Newswire, Yahoo, Morningstar. There's premium links. I'll share with you an example momentarily. So when you choose a premium or basic, and I'll go over both of them with you now, let's say you were to go for a premium, all right? The types of links that you'd be looking to get, just like I mentioned before, is, Yahoo. We also write it when you're doing a premium. So there's Yahoo's. Let's see what else is in this one. And not everybody gets always the same thing. But this particular one is we have Yahoo, TradingView, SG, Yahoo, AP News, Business Insider, Global Newswire, Benzinga, Market Watch. There's multiple heavy hitters. On top of that, there's dozens of links. This distribution, $350 on this, or at least that's what we scanned in for the sample, just to showcase some of the links. And then a basic, just to show the difference in what it looks like. And this would be your basic press release distribution. Market Watch, Benzinga, your Red TV, like these are 2 of the most notable up here at the top. Then you get your other distributions. Digital Journal is pretty notable, right? Scroll down, I think there's 500. Sometimes you get 600. Sometimes you get 700. That could be with both. It depends on which press release hub picks it up, right? So that's the difference between basic and PR. It's the amount of higher quality links that you get. That's it. Also, premium, we write it for you. Basic, you can submit it to us, or as an add-on, we can write it for you. But the price difference is quite a difference. Basic is $50. Premium is $350. Difference. Okay. So with that being said, as far as the ordering process, once you're over here at chrispalmer.org, let's just say you were to go to basic press release. You can see what's going on here. Here's the PR. Here is the writing. You can put them together. You put in your basic information and details. The next step after that is you'll fill out a form that looks directly like this. They're identical forms. We need the same information. The information that's going to be required is the title, summary of the article, an image, a brand image, ideally like your logo or maybe something that's associated to your brand, business, service, or you if you're a person, a consultant or an accountant or something along these lines. All right. Paste your article below if you want to give us a outline. The piece here with especially the premium, it has to be written in a specific way in order to get it submitted to the maximum amount of sites. So you can give us an outline or an idea, but if you're like copying and pasting from GPT, not going to work out, right? So we'll have to edit it anyway, especially for premium. Website URL, 3 focus keywords. You can give us more, but we're looking to focus the article around these specific key phrases. All right. Did you submit an image? Then we just ask you questions. Did you submit your business name, address, phone number, contact email? These things are required. Is your article written in third person? If you gave us an article, that's one of the requirements. Is it in third person, right? Is it promotional? It can't be promotional. It's informational. This is a press release. Did you make sure everything was filled out? Read the agreement and sign. And that's the 2 different types of press releases. That's the difference of quality, the difference in cost, and how you fill out the form. That's it. Hopefully that helps you out. All right, back over here. All right, now where were we? So Michael says, has a course. There you go. Riki is an owner of a directory website, not as a local business owner. Identical. Whether you were an owner or you're creating it, the process, I believe that was you that asked, related to the directory, would be the same. Who's being rewarded? What do they have? Is there any specific types that Google is featuring? Is there an enhancement for it? Do I need to have it? And then on top of that, schema.org, well, what are the different types that I need? That's it. Here's a great example of why schema.org and point things out. Let me share this with you here. Let me point this out. See, when you go to schema.org, a lot of people know what local business schema is, right? Tons of people. Even the tools have a local business schema markup, but 80% of people fill it out wrong. Now, what I mean by filling it out wrong only means that they leave out a lot of the opportunity that's built within local business schema. There's a lot of subtypes that are missed. And here's what I mean. See, like, for instance, a lot of them so this is local business schema. That means you have to have organization. So we have these, anything that says text mean that I can add it. So a lot of people might have the opening hours, but how often do you see currencies accepted? Maybe you see that. But here's some of them down here, like how many people use an award? How many put the geo shape or the place, right, of where we actually service? How often do you see that? Rare, right? Down here, anything that says text, right? Fax number, I don't know who still has fax, but some businesses I deal with have it. What about your global location number? How many times do we see that? Or maybe it's not needed for you. All I'm getting at is these are subtypes that can be added. And we want to make sure that if it's a requirement or if we have it, that we're giving it as much information to fill out the write-up or the markup as possible. Hopefully that helps you out. So again, back to what we talked about before. Who's winning in your niche or your category? Who are the top players? Right? Even if it's not a Yelp, like who's winning? Even if you have to scroll down the page, what schemas do they have? What are they marking up? Go over to Google. Out of those schemas, is there any ones that they have that are being rewarded that make sense for me in the featured list? Take a look. And then once that's done, once you know what the types are that you need, go to schema.org and figure out, well, we know what the main type is. And then within that, what pieces should I have in there? And that's what I would follow. I hope that helps for you. I hope that helps you. All right, moving on. Do the many free blogging Web 2 sites actually help referring domains? I see lots of my competitors inflating their domain counts this way. Face orange, frowning face, orange, frowning face, purple wide eyes. I assume you added an emoji. I've mentioned this in the past, I believe, but it doesn't matter. I want to be able to help you. When we're looking at Web 2.0s, a website or a business wants to rank for more than one keyword, right? So if we're going the Web 2.0 route, the optimal or the right way to do it is put in every single keyword. It goes back to keyword research. Step number one to any project is keyword research. Figuring out which keywords actually drive traffic. But since we're talking about Web 2s, put the keyword in, not just one primary, but every keyword that we want to win, and look in the 100 results. In those 100 results, which Web 2.0 properties are being rewarded by Google? Those are the Web 2s that we should be building. Now, that's optimal, time consuming, labor intensive, expensive for the value versus reward ratio is low. So oftentimes what you'll find yourself doing as a business owner or as an SEO or an agency is you get the list of some of the best. There's new ones all the time. But which ones are do follow, which ones are high DR, which ones aren't considered spammy, right? And you'll build them all. You build them all. Now, what does this do? Even though it's passing a small amount of actual link juice, if you want to call it that, what it is doing is it's inflating referring domain count, votes, but mostly on top of that, we're also able to adjust anchor text. Like the anchor text diversity, I'm able to adjust by utilizing Web 2.0. So I'm able to increase the amount of votes, referring domains, and I'm able to adjust my anchor text density. There's value there. But if you want to do it the best way, I should only be building the types that are being rewarded for my niche and the keywords that matter to me. That's a lot of work though. So hopefully that helps you out. Modern Mom says, Chris, would you be bullish on niche content sites monitored with affiliate marketing? I assume monetized, display ads, etc., or monitored. Okay. Seems like Google is preferring super authority sites. Having any niche site ideas? No, but niche sites, that's just not anything that crosses my mind. At times, like we have small sites, like for hosting, VPNs. You know, I just can never dedicate enough time. So I try to just focus on what I do want to focus on, which is service-based stuff. That's what that's what we like. But no, it's not, I don't want to say this, it's not something I think about really. It's not my objective is to pour gasoline on fires that are already burning, right? That's super helpful. Once I can get some people more acquainted to the technobabble or the terminology and more comfortable meeting with clients, like the only thing I really want to put into place that I don't have yet, like, or have a lot of yet, I do have people to do it, but just not yet to scale more, is I really want success managers that handle all the little things and all the little things that come up in campaigns. But no, my focus is scaling a service-based business to help local business owners. That's my primary objective. Build the white label along with helping local business owners. So as far as like doing affiliate or blogs or anything, that doesn't even cross my mind. To be honest, not really. Sometimes like I might meet with somebody or talk to somebody and they'll be mentioning something really cool and it'll pique my curiosity for a few moments, but then I just focus on my thing, you know? But as far as myself, what I want to do is, or what we're in the middle of doing, is launching our SaaS. That interests me. Stuff to help me do my job and help my clients and whomever else. And then aside from that, the other piece is a large part of what I do personally is looking at tests. I don't always share them all, but I do enjoy the thinking and running tests in order to figure out, hey, is this still working? Should I be doing this? Do I need to do this? So I'm looking to showcase a lot more of that, whether it's in the group or for free. So that's pretty much it. Yeah. Hopefully that helps you. If it does, hopefully it did. Volley. How to structure a local business website outside the USA. Focusing on city pages. Guidance needed for offering our service across various locations. One service in one location and multiple services. Okay, good question. All right. How to structure a local business website outside the USA. Focusing on city pages. Guidance needed for offering one service across various locations, one service in one location, and multiple. Okay. I think I grasp what you're asking me. So here, let's talk about this in this sense, okay? All right. Here. So you would what I would do is this. So we only have one service, but we want to hit a bunch of locales. So website.com service, right? And then website.com. Now you would have to take a look at the SERP because there's two ways, okay? I would have my website. I have website.com / the primary service. Inside of this service page, I would internally link to all of my service location pages. Okay? Because I operate the same service in more than one location, and that's perfectly fine. Now, you would have to take a look and see, hey, is Google rewarding primary service location pages off the root like this? Or are they rewarding hard silos? Not every SERP is going to call for this. Here. And I've seen this firsthand, right? Like building depth of concept is great, building a hard silo, but sometimes a floating silo or whatever, however you want to look at it is better in this sense. So not always are you going to have this, right? You're not always going to have website, service /service location. You're not going to build a hard silo like this. If I'm looking at the SERP and Google is building depth that way, like that's what's being rewarded, then I'm going to run this way. A lot of these local service businesses that I'm working with, not a lot, it's like a 50-50 split. A lot of times what I'm seeing is the pages that are being rewarded are off the root. Like they have one service or two service, we build out a primary service page, and then we'll build it like this. It depends on the category, right? So this is how we structure it. And then if we want to start building out information, right here, we'll leave this in place. We'll just do this. Just like this. That's it, right? And then if we had to talk about this is branded, right? We're building a branded asset. Well, what does this brand do? This is a service page, optimized for service. We're going to interlink the other service location pages. This right here is a service location page. It's that simple. Here, spread this out so it's easier to see. Service location, service page, and this is a brand, right? And then these here are informational, but I'm supporting the main concept here in a hard silo. But this is information. You can go deep here no matter what. No matter what. I'm always looking to build depth of concept in a hard silo if it's information. All right. The only time I'm going to build informational content is if I'm supporting the brand. Like if we start to get a brand and we're starting to get some traction, it's always a good idea to then go back in. Here, I'll point this out to you. So you'll have your service information that supports the main service, but there will be times, especially once you're picking up traction, to have website.com/branded information. So now I'm building relevance off of the root, but it's going to be about the brand. Whoopsie. All right, like this. Make sense? This is branded informational content. One of the top pages, no matter what, that I'm assuming you already have, that should be on its own is like the About Us. That About stuff is a supporting page to the brand. About who? About the brand name. Now, why is that? Because now I can rank for even more keywords on another page, because usually for local business, generally, their name is what's bringing in 50-60% of traffic. So it's always good once you have steam to have some informational content about the brand. Like, who are we? When were we founded? How much does it cost to work with us? When should you start working with us? Who, what, when, why, where, how, maybe a best of if you're not scared of competition. All right. So I hope that helps you. That was a fun question. Thank you for that. All right. Please advise on specific internal linking strategies for each geographical modifier and general internal linking tips. So you have two ways to do this. Here, let me show you something. Let me just make sure that all right. I'm just going to use this as an example, only because I knew it was here and I could show you in a very easy way. Okay. First and foremost, you're going to create your secondary pages for the same exact thing in those other languages. This is going to be done just like normal, but in a different language, written in a different language, right? On top of that, we need to utilize what is called hreflang. If we take a look at these pages, you'll see, here, I'll show you something here quick. So he's not only mentioning these, but here, if we go to href, here, and then they're going to have multiple types. So he's mentioning it in the OG data. That's like schema kind of OG data. One of them is Twitter, and then one's Facebook. I think OG is Facebook. I get those confused sometimes. OG data, it doesn't matter. So he's mentioning there. And then on top of that, he's going to have hreflang to each different variant, right? So it's markup within the actual pages. So far we've learned a few things. Well, we need to mention it within our OG data and within our schema markup. We're going to say, hey, there's multiple versions. On top of that, we're also going to mention inside of our markup, even though it's hreflang, that, hey, we have these multiple versions. We've also learned that if we have multiple versions, they need to be written in the right context. They need to be written in the right language. On top of this, too, this particular gentleman, I'm sure you may or may not know who it is, but this particular website has it in the body text, right? We've internally linked to these assets, to these pages. I believe they do it again down here. Let me just make sure. Yep, they do it in the footer and in the header. So head and foot, right? The only other page that's just more important than this is within the body. So head and foot. So we've learned another lesson. We're linking in the header and the footer. Now, of course, he's doing this. This person, if you don't know who it is an SEO, right? Or at least have a team of SEOs. Okay. So you and I already know that there's 3 places to link, and there's different values given. Head and body are very, very close as far as power given. Footer is the next on the list. It goes body, head, foot. Most important places. Sidebar is considered body. They're equal to each other. Okay. So to answer your question, like we just mentioned, schema markup is going to reference the other pages. hreflang is going to mention other pages. We also want to build out separate sections for each location modifier, okay, or country specific, okay? On top of that, it needs to be written in the right language. How do I link to them, or those different properties or those different versions? Head and foot. And if you can, or if you want to, we can also link within the body, but I believe that site-wide head foot is probably more than enough to get to those other versions. I've also seen this done utilizing subdomains, and I've also seen this done utilizing reverse proxies. A reverse proxy like Nginx within the site where it's clickable, but it's actually housed on another IP. I don't want to go down that road with you, but I've seen it done those other ways too. So I hope that helps you out. Hopefully it helps you. Can you go through the site architecture and internal linking for a local business not located in the USA, but rather city pages? Go through the cases where we provide only one. Regardless if it's USA or another country, I don't see any difference to the strategy or the process, the SOP, however you view it, right? If you understand the basics of SEO and structuring, which we've gone over it now, I've showed you an outline utilizing text. And then as far as the hreflang for different or multiple versions, I showed you how to interlink by showing you an example. If there's a specific country that you want to rank in, it's really just a matter of, are we building parent-child or hard silos, or are we going to be building our location pages off of the root? But either way that we do it, we're still going to have a top-level page that's going to talk about broad match term of what the service is in order to have interlinking within the body text, right? Like I showed, you'll have website.com/service. From that service page, I'm going to link to my cities. If I only want to do one city, then it's website.com, and we're only talking about one thing, and I'm going to build that service page off the root. It doesn't matter. USA, AU, UK, everything's the same. See what's winning, and then that's the structure that I'm going to use. Is it going to be flat, or is it going to be a hard silo? It's that easy. If we're using hreflang, how are we interlinking? Head and foot. If you want to get some extra robustness, then do it in the body too. I don't, there's no difference. USA, AU, UK. The only thing that I can't say without a shadow of a doubt is, if it's written in Mandarin but like I've worked on UK sites, I've worked on AU sites, I've worked on American sites, of course. I mean, Canadian sites. If it's in English, you're pretty much the same. Now, there might be rules or nuances to words or terminology or phrasing, but it's usually pretty much the same. Like optimization with a Z is US, and optimization with An S is like UK or AU, right? Like there might be a nuance, but it's pretty much the same. All right, so I hope that helps you. Okay. Kelly Ray, Chris, do you have any specific tactics for near me? I'm ranking for the keywords plus city, but struggle for near me. That's because the actual search is based upon where the searcher is. Generally, these near me terms are initiated from a mobile phone. Google owns Google Maps. They've outlined the entire planet. Insane, right? They know where device location is, which is what they're using, not IP. Okay? With that being said, how do we optimize for near me? Now, I used to try sticking it in the URL slug, and that had some effect for a while. In fact, I didn't come up with that idea. I got that from Yelp. That's where I first saw it done, was on Yelp. They used to put near me. They may even still. It's been a while since I was analyzing key players, right? With that being said, if we want to optimize around near me, depending on the target market, where we're trying to target, let me walk you through a small process, okay? First and foremost, what we want to figure out is, let's go out here. Okay. I was doing some testing with TikTok recently. We're currently going to see if traffic to a TikTok listing affects Google rankings. So some fun stuff if you guys are interested. Check us out. But back to the question at hand. Near me. All right, so the API for this tool was giving me a hard time, but let's just say we want to go to, I don't know, Long Island, New York, and we're going to search for, I don't know, plumber near me. So it thinks I'm in Ronkonkoma, New York. See here? Okay. Searching for plumber near me, Ronkonkoma. Let me just get this quick. All right. Is it showing me the same players? All right, what are we looking for? Now we're looking for, well, are they even tuning for it? Or are they catching it by proximity or by authority? Could be. Let's see here. Okay, 2 times. That's 4, 6. 6 times, I assume. So near me twice and the word near 6 times. Okie dokie. Let me just make sure of that quick. Yeah, 6. All right. 6. 6 times. Bear with me. Give me a second here. I'm walking you through the entire process, but near 3 times. Okay, so now we have a count of 3. Near how many times? 4. So we're still 6 to 4. Like very, very similar so far. Did notice the similarities? Okay. Bear with me here. So near me 4 times, near 6 times, right? These are top players so far. All right. So 6 and 4. So about 6 times is probably more than enough. They're saying the exact phrase 4 times. So that's Angie. Now, let me show you something. Plumber near me, Racoma. All right. So those are the top players. They have near me 4 times, the word near 6 times, right? Now, let's scroll down to here. this guy has, let's go down to page 2 and let's click this guy. Now let's see if he has near me 4 times and the word near 6 times. And let's take a look and see if he's relevant for plumber near me, Racoma. Are you ready? All right, so let's open this person up. Let's pop them open in SEO Quake. Control F, near, up, half the amount. You should have 6, and then let's go me. 1. Do you see what I'm getting at here? Right? Let's figure out what's being rewarded for near me and near, right? And the word me, technically speaking. Okay, if the count's 6, let's go slightly above that. Okay, let's go 8, 4. Also, 2, near me is a heavily related search term to whatever query it is. Besides the variance, near me is a heavily related term, semantically. Remember at the bottom of the page in Google before the infinite scroll, you would type it in and it would say related terms? Near me. Always. Right? So with that being said, figure out the count for near me, make sure we're getting it into a header, and make sure that we have it more times than the top performing website. This will help us achieve a higher result. And then that's the process for it. I hope that helps you. Also, too, sometimes you want to check this. We're rebuilding this tool. I dislike showing other people's tools, but I really like using this. I like it so much that I'm taking out all the stuff I don't like about it, and we're just doing the stuff that we love between SEO Quake and this tool, and we're going to release our own. We're going to mix them together. Very excited about that, and it's going to be free, which I like even more. Anyway, here. What I'm looking for here is sometimes, okay, not in this instance. Let me just see something here. They won't usually write near me, but you'll see a lot of nears in the alt. That's another play. But it depends on how competitive the market is. If you're in the SEO space, which I frequent, these guys overdo it, but I can usually get the count, but I hope that helps you out. I need to use the lavatory. Please excuse me for a minute. Okay. Give me 1 second. A bunch of eyes and a bunch of wise. Hey, so you like blackberries? Here, eat these. I have 4 left. You can have them. Sorry about that. I was just talking to my doggy. His name's Hayes, in case anybody cared. All right, here we go. Moving on. Sorry about that. I had to. Today, in case I know there's some new members here, Thursdays are designated in my house across the street. Like Thursday is a super mastermind day. We do our SEO testing group starting at 12 noon till 2. And then from 2 to 4, we do group coaching and consulting. And then I hold my YouTube mastermind from 4 to 6. So it's 2, 4, 6. A lot of fun. I enjoy it. So we've been in here for the day. Let's take a look here. Let's get out of here. Kick him out, and moving on. Gucci Daniels. Cool. I truly appreciate the donation. Thank you. You're in the group. You don't have to give a donation, but I do appreciate it. Thank you. And in any case, donation, thank you, and advice for brand new websites going after London wedding videography. Do I need to copy the top 10 sites ATM in terms of layout? They seem basic. All right, but layout, here, I want to show you something. Since this is a private group, right? We're masterminding, right? Layout isn't, I hope that layout to you, we're going to go take a look. London wedding videography. I love this market. That I thought about launching a project for that for photo booth rentals. My brother hated it, so we decided not to. But I was going to invest in 2 booths and then do the 360s and stuff and like, hey, let's do it. And he's like, nah. I was like, all right. Anyway, let's go look at this together. I want to show you something. All right, so we're looking at the key term London wedding videography. So oftentimes when I talk to business owners, see, your idea of template and my idea of template might be different, but let's clarify this. All right, so we have London wedding. Oh, I got big letters, little letters. Okay, we could shut this down. All right. It still thinks I'm here. Here, let's just switch this up quick. All right, there we go. Now we're in London and we're taking a look. All right. So, 10 best. So here's one piece that I want to point out. This is an informational. All right. So you could take that or leave it. I just want to point that out. Any recommendations? So Reddit is poisoning your SERP, I see. Anybody can go in there and say and do whatever they want. It's quite heinous. The more I've been dealing with that in the law space, and even personally, it's just horrific, really. Like, man, I feel for some of the brands. But with that being said, let's just take a look here. So I don't see too much information. What I was looking for was, is there more than just this one? So I would assume that they are an authority, but I want to show you something. So a template, I hope you're not looking at this as in like, okay, they have a video at the top with a header, they have a picture. Like, this isn't the template, right? What the template truly is this. I'll show you something here quick. Let me show you something. All right. So this is called view rendered source. So rendered DOM. All right. So when Google is actually showcasing a page, what they're showcasing is the rendered DOM. That's the information that they view and they value, right? So when we're taking a look at the rendered source, what Google actually sees, let's refresh this page. Let's click on this. And what they're actually looking at is this right here. This is actually the template. They don't see the design. They don't see the pictures. They don't see any of that stuff. It's just code, right? I just want to point that out. So the arrangement of pictures or colors or graphs or anything doesn't matter, right? That doesn't matter. They cosmetic appeal is irrelevant to Google. All right, so that's one piece of it. Now, what does matter when we're talking about template is taking a look at top performing websites and understanding, okay, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 headers. And then 15, what do we have here? 3 is 4, is 9, that's 10, that's 23, 26. So 26 and 9, let's just say we're doing 2. 26 plus 9 equals divided by 2 brings us to 17 headers. So right now we know that we need, I've only did 2. I think you should take 5 or 10 of the top performing sites. Definitely 3 to 5. There's no question. But for sake of time, let's get at the header. So once we know that we have this header count 17, well, then we can start figuring out what the true template is. So we know no matter what, it's H1, H2, H3 like this. So that's 3, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, up till 17. 1H1. On top of that, you have your title, right? Meta title. Okay. Well, this is your meta title. I meant description. You get the point. Fat fingers. I have fat fingers. What can I say? Anyway, title, meta description. You have your H1s. I'm just giving you a brief understanding, okay? 17 headers. The title, the meta description, my 17 headers. The next piece that I want to know as far as the template is concerned as well, Google reward in here. Okay. So they're rewarding 1,000 words there. How many are they rewarding here? About 1,200. Look, wildly close. I wonder why, right? So we know probably somewhere between 1,100 and 1,400 is that sweet spot of words we can properly describe and fit into the template that's being rewarded with about 1,400 words. Great. So now we know how many words we need, 1,400. These are rough estimates, by the way, all right? 1,400 words, 17 headers, title, meta description. Then we look at our word counts and what kind of words are being used, the variations, the LSIs, the entities, co-occurring key phrases, right? What words are being used, how many times? Now we know what our template is. The next piece that we want to look at is I like to use averages when we're talking about imagery. I think that you can get away with 2 images per 1,000 words. If you want to take the average of images, you can do that, but base it upon optimized images. How many images have alt tags in the top 5 performers that are tuned? Have the keyword in it, a variation, an entity, or a co-occurring key phrase. Add those all up from the sites and then divide by how many sites you have. That'll give you your count of how many images to add. That's your template, all right? And that's what I would run with. That'll put us in optimal position to at least look like the winners. Then we can start worrying about off-page and schema markup and getting traffic to the site. Okay? So I hope that helps you. Maybe I went too deep, but I want to clarify that. Only because you use the word template. All right, so I hope that helps you. Love the answer. I'm thrilled to help, my friend. Glad to help, Ricky. All right, Luke, it's number 1 in the map pack. Sweet. Marvelous. So you don't have a location, but you're number 1 in the map pack. So you're a service area business? Or you created the listing for fun one day, right? Just randomly picked one and went for it. Hey, is it producing for you, right? Is it pointing to the homepage or is it pointing to an internal page? Just because you have a maps listing doesn't mean you actually have to be there. Just because you have a page on your site doesn't mean you have to be there. You're number 1 in the map pack. Awesome. That's okay. You don't have to have a location. You don't have to have a location page, but if you decide to add, that listing should be pointing to that internal page, especially if you plan on having more than one locale. It's up to you though, all right? So I hope that helps you. Thank you for answering. It's my pleasure. How to get links to, okay, here we are. How do I get links to geo pages in a scalable way? And is siloing necessary or is keyword city good? I definitely think, or I definitely know that it depends on the SERP, right? If I'm looking at the SERP, if you're asking really what you're asking is, do I need to have a hard silo? No, you definitely don't. But should you be building depth of concept based upon the services that you provide? Yes. Yes, you should. Should you have a top level page? Yes. Should you internally link to your pages that are still off the route, but your city location pages? Yes. Should you build out informational pages based upon the services you provide? Definitely. Now, how you put that into the structure is completely up to you. Like the actual foldering, the slugs, the URL, up to you, right? Really, it's based on what Google's rewarding. But how you internally link is very, very important. You still need that depth of concept. I still need to convey authoritativeness, and I still need to convey that I'm the expert. And how I can help convey that to the bot, besides external votes and external sources, is by showing my depth of concept. It's the only way to talk to the bot. You have to feed content to it. That's it. I hope that helps you. More than SEO for local business, whose patients tend to trust Nextdoor, Patch, and similar. What do you like to do in order to get the most exposure for nearby neighborhoods? Neighborhoods. I had a talk with somebody related to neighborhoods, or towns is what we call it here in Pennsylvania. I've always called them towns. Counties, cities, towns, and then there's neighborhoods or sections within a city. Okay. So how do I get relevance for those neighborhoods, right? It's very, very hard for you to change. It's hard to educate the audience and do business at the same time, right? But what you can do, if Patch and Nextdoor are generating all the clicks, then they shall remain at the top. But there will be a subset of people that will also trust advertising and the number 3 result or the number 4 result. And there is still business to be had there. There's also MapPack, right? So with all of that being said, what I would make sure that you're doing is that in order to be relevant for something, it needs to show up on a page. But let me dive deeper into this concept, okay? Because I run into this a lot. All right. I want to show you something. Let's go to New Haven Plumbing. All right. I think New Haven. Let me just make sure. Let's take a look at the map briefly. Okay. Let me find a city. West Haven. Let's find a city. We can do Connecticut. Huntington. Perfect. Okay. So this is Huntington. When I zoom in, well, first and foremost, it has to be marked on the board, right? So here, let's go down to Texas, or somewhere where it's more densely populated is really what I'm looking for. Just so I can convey this message to you so it gives more meaning or more understanding. All right. Perfect. Okay. Here we are. All right. All right. Lubbock, Texas. Okay. Here's the red outline of Lubbock. I assume that this is a city. Okay. Irrelevant. This is Lubbock. Now, inside of Lubbock, there's neighborhoods, or towns is what we call them in Pennsylvania. Okay. When I scroll and see, when I'm out, you can see this is a city. See how bold it is? Or it's an area. Okay. This is the larger area. Now watch. Lubbock. Plumber. Lubbock, Texas. Now, that's Plumber in Lubbock, Texas. I'm looking from Lubbock. Lowry, West Tech Plumbing, affordable in this old house. 1, 2, 3, 4. Lowry is the king player. Okay. And this is generally the objective. What I'm venturing to guess is when I search for the neighborhood inside of Lowry, the city, when I search for that neighborhood plus plumber, it's going to have key players. They might be in different orders, but generally it's going to be the same. And then I'm going to answer your question after I give this example. Okay. Here. I scroll in, I can see that this is Lubbock. And then I take a look at, say, it's Tech Terrence. Okay. Plumber, Tech Terrence, TX, to be fair. Oh, our boys are down the list. The SERP I choose shows a different result. I love it. That's welcome to my life. The example I choose shows different results. That's okay. Do it from your own location. What I'm getting at here is this. If I'm in one example that I showed didn't pop how I wanted it to, that doesn't matter. If Lubbock is the city, all right, and I want to target this city and the neighborhoods that are within this city, I want to become the authority in this city. In order to be able to pop up for those other locations without creating a bunch of pages that will compete with each other, you have to do this homework that I just did. I look at the neighborhood and I look at the city. Are they competing? Are they showing the same exact results? If it's different, like here in Lubbock, then hey, you have an opportunity to create another page if that's your target market and that's what you want to do. But generally, except for this one example, if I search for the city and I search for a neighborhood within that city, I can win that city by becoming the authority, building links, age, citations, directories, PR, off-page votes. And by mentioning those neighborhoods within the page in an itemized list or an unstructured list, sometimes even linking to the map, I need the words on the page. When somebody searches for plumber from that location, it will show my Lubbock page because I'm the authority in that location. And that's what we're trying to do. So let's get back to your question here. How can I optimize for these? How can I optimize for these neighborhood pages? The first order of business is are these neighborhoods in a large city? What is the demographic? Okay. Do I already have that city page? Yes. Okay. What we're looking to do is look up that neighborhood and that city. Does Google show the same results? Oftentimes, 80% of the time, yes. The answer is yes, they will. If they do, that means that within that main city page, I talk about those neighborhoods. Unstructured list, structured list, maybe an embed, maybe a link, right? Because once I become the authority, I'll win all of this by default because I'm the authority for plumbing in this city. And that's how we generally do it. Now, if you get two completely looking results like this, right? And I think it's showing the did it take me to a different place? This looks like the same one. Let me make sure that I'm not losing my mind here. Overton. Wait a second here. No, it's still popping. Two completely different SERPs. It might call for a page. But oftentimes neighborhoods become the authority, talk about it, and you'll bring it up. I added an extra letter. In this particular instance, see, our players come down into here. When I'm looking in Tech Terrence, our players are still here. Here's that number one player from the big city, right? I would venture, I think Lowry, West Tech. So here's West Tech. I would assume that if West Tech, if West Tech new SEO is watching this video, West Tech, if you add those neighborhoods to this page, you'll be a winner in this neighborhood. You'll be a winner in this neighborhood. You'll rise. Because if this page right here talked about Terrence, not only would you be a winner in Lubbock, the city, but I've also captured the neighborhood or the town. I hope this makes sense to you. I hope this helps you. I went through this same exact layout with another with someone else. But that's how you do it. All right. I hope that helps you out. Yeah, they're like number 8 in this SERP here. So Tech Terrence, the number 1 player in Lubbock, the city, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Let me see if we do in. I just want to see. I find it so odd that, but that's just my luck though. See, that makes sense. Their first page, right? They're more tuned for Lubbock, but if they talked about those neighborhoods on this page, they might catch another spot or two, right? These guys are hard to beat, but that's how they need to do it. They're already the winner in the city. They're the winner in the big city, right? They're number 2. If they talked about Tech Terrence in that page, they'd get a couple more spots because they're the authority in the city. I hope this makes sense to you. That took me time to learn because we used to go build out all the pages. But then we quickly realized that what happens is when you build out neighborhood pages or you build out town pages that are inside of a city where I have the city page, I end up competing. And sometimes they rank me for this as opposed to this. And what I quickly realized is, hey, if I'm the king of the city already, let's add these neighborhoods. Let's talk about them. They don't need a dedicated page. They simply don't. I can build out this page robustly. I can build out a numbered list or an itemized list, sometimes maybe use embeds or a link to the map. And I'm able to capture those locations, especially once I'm in the top 3 results in the main city. If I'm perceived or I have achieved top rankings, I'm the authority, I'll catch it. I hope this helps you out. That took me years to understand. All right. For your location service writing service, do you do the research that you walk us through here on YouTube? This is a service. You give us the words, we write. No. Keyword research. It's one that it's very time consuming. We're looking to productize each element of our process. So that way all the pieces can go together. We were offering everything, but it becomes very costly if you want us to do each of the elements because of the time that's involved, you know? So no, our location service specifically, because that's even just the writing, like our writing service, we're doing it for $4 to $6 per 100 words. I forget exactly where we're at currently, but $4 to $6 per 100 words. And the location service pages, it's $20 per 1,000. So $2 a 100. Very inexpensive. Where keyword research, if we had to do keyword research based upon a list of keywords, we were charged for the time, which could be, depending on who's doing it. If I'm doing it, costly. If I have my brother do it, slightly less. Okay. So no, we generally, we ask for, hey, what do you want the article about? And then we write it. Okay. Hopefully that helps you. Where did I find schema on Squarespace? I add it to the body, right? I don't think, in my opinion, Jose, I don't want to load the schema first, right? But we put it into the body text, all right? But there is a place within Squarespace. Man, I have a Squarespace site. There is a place though. I think there's a place for scripts. Well, they have a whole section on it, so I would assume it's in there. But on the assets that we build, we put it, I think there is a place for scripts and they'll append it to the head, but we generally load it deferred or in the body, right? So we put our scripts in the body text, which still gets read perfectly fine. And it doesn't slow up the site at all. Like you don't lose a few milliseconds. That not that it matters that much, but and I actually learned that from Rand Fishkin. If you follow Moz at all, I learned that specific piece of information a long time ago. But yeah, Squarespace is cool. What flavor Ghost today? Well, today I actually they didn't have Ghost, so I tried Prime, and it's actually still full because it's. I wouldn't refer this one. I tried it for my first day today on stream. The initial taste is quite good. Maybe it wears on you. Let's see. It's got an odd aftertaste, but but the Ghost energies that I like are the Sour Patch Kids Blue Raspberry, my favorite. So yeah, there's that. All right. What is the time frame that you can expect GBP to start climbing the ranks after you've done your best to optimize it to the fullest potential? So once you optimize, that's one aspect of the CR process is simple, right? Optimize the profile, increase the amount of reviews, start running traffic and clicks for the area, the keywords, and the brand that matter. So traffic, clicks, reviews, and optimization, they work together. And generally, as long as you started in the top 20, you're at least semi-relevant for the location plus keyword that you want. As long as Google even recognizes you at all within 30 days to 45 days, top 5 or 3-pack, no question. But you have to be in that top 20. And then you need to follow the process. The optimization is one of 3 things, So hopefully that helps you. What would you say are the top 3 most important factors for ranking? And I just gave them to you. Hey, Chris, is it better to have my services and geo pages in the footer or in the body of my pages? And here, let's switch this out. All right. So the question here, services and geo pages in the footer or in the body of my pages, or both? Both. Head, foot, and body, to be honest with you. If see, some clients get upset, they don't like to see because of cosmetic appeal. I personally, we're going for SEO. We want to rank the client. That's what we want. I want to rank so we can get leads and traffic. So then we can expand service area so we can keep working together, right? That's my objective personally. Now they don't always like, I don't know what the heck's going on here with this. Okay, there. Oh, it's the shadow. I see. Well, here, what if I crank this up some? I should take the shadow away. Nope. Wow. Surprised. You should see the amount of light that I have in here. Like, this is mind-blowing to me. How about that? Ah! Sorry. Anywho, head, foot, and body. A lot of clients don't like it up in the head, so what we'll do is we'll put the top level pages up there. All right, so that's what we're looking to do there. All right, next question. CP, thank you for your insights. It's my pleasure. Hey, thank you for this donation, SEO brand. Super sticker. Thank you. I appreciate that. Modern Mom. I like that name. What's a good plugin to add schema? Is a schema plugin or even an SEO plugin necessary? I don't want to bog down my site, my website unnecessarily with plugins. No, I agree. But the essentials that we like, there's 3 things that we always put on to a site if we're taking it from beginning to end. It's going to be one of our builders, like Live Canvas, Breakdance, Bricks.io, one of those usually, or Oxygen sometimes. It depends. So we're going to have a builder, right? SEO Press, and then WP Rocket. Like that's and then 2, we're going to be, by the time you check It's probably already added by the time you see this. SEO Press installs and setups. And then WP Rocket the same, install and setup. So that's that. And I think that'll be helpful for people. But that's the plugin or the WordPress stack, if you want to call it. Now, is it necessary? There's a lot of small things that go on that you would have to do manually. So let's talk about this briefly. Robots.txt, sitemap, HTML sitemap, auto-generated, created, done, and automatically updated. Automatic submissions to the search engine or to the API to keep new pages indexed. Headers or meta titles, meta descriptions, and slugs all in your dashboard. The schema markup, at least the vast majority of the basic ones, you fill it out once, it takes care of it for you. And then you can choose which pages to add it to or take it away, but you fill out the basic information. So that's schema, metas, right? Robots, sitemaps, and updates, all for $40 or whatever it is, or whatever. I think it's a yearly cost, right? Or you can come see me one time and we'll set it up and keep it on there forever. So that's that. All right. So I hope that helps you out. And I see massive value in having it, right? Because of time, just the time. And depending on which one you choose, it really doesn't bog you down that much. All right. So we'll go to the next question here. Do shared office spaces work for new GBP locations? What documentation is needed if I trigger a verification? Any insights are okay. So if you're going to use, say, here, I'll say this. Can you use a virtual office or a office? Yes, but when or if, more likely when, it triggers for video verify. Hopefully there's no other businesses in your category there, because you can get all of the other documentation for that business listing, but you need to be able to show up there, right? A bill, you need to be able to show the street address in the front of the building. Front of the building, street address, you in front of the building. Go into the building, sign of the building, or a sticker on the door or a name tag. A card with your address on it. A vehicle, a work vehicle, work tools. Into the office. Circular into the office. Paperwork, headings on the paperwork. Bills, doing business as, EINs, that type of information needs to be registered at that address. But as far as the business verification, you there on your phone, you'll take a video of you there, and you in front of your building, and then you in front of your door, and then you walking in, and then showing those details that I just mentioned. You'll submit it, it'll spin forever. You'll submit another one, it'll spin forever. When you submit it on the third time, sometimes sixth time, it'll trigger for a date time. Then all of those things you will then relay to an actual person. Well, to an avatar of a voice. Maybe it's a real person. At least that was my personal experience. As far as a much better opportunity, it can be in your best interest depending on your business and cash flow, right? In all actuality, that's what business is. In order to alleviate a lot of issues and potential issues and flags for competitors, because if you're practicing good SEO here on the Chris Palmer SEO channel and you understand what it takes to get to the top, as you outcompete others, especially if you do it rapidly, anything that they can point out to diminish your business, they will, right? So if you're at a known virtual office, even if you've already verified, it can re-trigger a verification again. And then you got to it's that process again. And then if they drop you, because they'll soft suspend you first, and then if you don't get everything done within that 5-day span, that business week span, it'll go from soft suspension to a hard suspension. And once you drop and come back, you never regain your past glory. At least in the instances that I've had that happen, you don't regain that same glory. All right. So it's just a headache. It's much better rent an efficiency, right? First and last months, take care of your business, take care of what you need to, and reassess that. Because if you end up having to re-verify, you don't actually have to go in. You just have to show you in front of the business. So once you have it and you do the initial verification, if it ever comes up again to re-verify, it's only you at your business with all of your documentation, right? You just need to re-verify that you're actually a business there. All right. So I hope that helps you. Darren, thank you, brother. I appreciate that donation. I truly appreciate that. Thank you very much. Buy yourself a mango. Man, I feel like I don't know if it was you or someone else, but because you gave me the $1.99 and said to do that, I don't know if it was you or someone else said specifically the mango. I'm going to try that. They didn't have my blueberry, but they do have the mango. There's no question. They have them all. It's like a light blue. It's like a light bluish can with an orange. I know which one it is. I've seen it. It's like a light blue can. I promise here. Yep. Oh, the light. I see. Light blue with orange. See, I told you. I know. I saw those up there. I'm gonna try this one now. And Darren, I'll let you know how it was. Thank you for the donation too. I will use it. And I wouldn't try this one. Now, I also have one in this bag. I didn't drink it yet, but it's a blue one. Because I tried the flavors that my son and I like in Prime hydration drink. We tried it this way. So I'll let you know. Ooh, got a little ting. All right. Moving on down. Let's see here. Chris, okay, here we go. Hey, Chris, I'm starting to make content covering SEO topics for specific businesses. Really? Okay. SEO for photographers. Any tips for creating, structuring the content that's most helpful? I see, unfortunately, right now, and I'm thinking moving forward, I just showed the process as far as analyzing the SERP and what Google's rewarding as far as word counts, header counts, images, optimized images, right? Structuring a page, right? Now, unfortunately, the way what's happening with these changes, as far as Google is concerned, is that it's becoming more and more essential to further out the depth of concept. So the true advice isn't in the structuring to answer the question specifically, but in the choosing of the niche or the depth in which you want to go into. For instance, if it's going to be SEO for photographers, I want to be the best thing going, right, for SEO for photographers. SEO for photographers. Well, what exactly do they do? How much does SEO for a photographer cost as opposed to another niche or category? Every question that you can answer, I would build out informational content based on that to support my SEO for photographers. I would dedicate to that, right? Because what you're going to find is as you're producing content, Google's going to reward you. It's best to stick in a lane, right? I think you're going to struggle if you go SEO and then you go broad. Like, it can be finite and you could talk about that. But if you start talking about some things, like you could build a silo about photographers, but then you build out, because think about photographers. There's SEO for photographers, but there's wedding photographers, mobile photographers. Like, you can go so deep on one thing. My best advice is you're going to go deep, but be very specific on what you decide to go deep on, and make sure that that's who you want to communicate with, who you want to talk to. Who is that what you want to be looking at? Just be mindful. All right, because once you go depthful, there's side things to the same topic, like using that photography. There's photography, SEO for photographers, but then there's different subsets of photography, right? Well, are you using digital or analog? Are you using, right? Like, I think there's countless ways that you could talk about that, and that's what your objective is going to be. That's my best advice. See, that's why we've been building out that. I'm very selective on what I show. If it's client stuff, I get not precise, but implicit okays from the client to be able to showcase stuff. But like, we've built out stuff for law firm agency, right? And we just target law firm. And then we just talk about the subsets of law that we handle or we can help. We did it for real estate, just for real estate, but more specifically real estate investors, right? We're about to start moving into dentistry, more notably cosmetic dentistry. So just be selective. That's all. I hope that helps you. Can you put too many photos in your GBP photo section, or do you just want to keep filling it up over time? Your initials, get your 10 or 20 in there, right? Definitely your cover, your photo, your logo, that stuff. But let's start with an initial 20, and then we'll build from there. But the key, though, is let's go in there weekly and add something. Let's update the posts daily or twice a day, ideally, bi-daily at least. But when we're updating that section, let's make sure we're getting photos. But don't forget, I need to be getting customer, not just owner photos. I need other photos too. So let's get multiple instances from different IPs, or more notably, different device locations from different IPs. Your phone would be the best place to have other accounts to upload images from as a non-owner. Okay? Tina De Beer. I like that little pug. Anyway, I live in the city that recently had its name changed. What is your knee-jerk reaction to this from the field of SEO, and what would your strategy be, short or long term? Well, the first thing is this city now called this. That's my first knee-jerk reaction. And what you're going to know is if that happened, a lot more people are going to still call this. See, I missed the boat on when Google My Business changed to Google Business Profile. Everybody and their brother did this, now called this. But what I quickly started to realize as I was pummeling through videos of Google Business Profile, everybody was still calling it Google My Business. So, yeah, that's my knee-jerk reaction, is in recalling that. I would still talk about this, but also say, hey, this changed. So, hey, Chris from KR, I need to rank for a Shopify collection page with 0 comp. Well, yeah, but competition in Ahrefs is not what we care about, right? When we say high competition, that means you went to the SERP or maps, in your case, the SERP, and we're looking. Does it, Ahrefs might say nothing or 10 or easy, right? But then when I go to the SERP, it's Walmart, Best Buy, Walmart, Amazon seller, who knows, Apple shopping, Amazon live stuff, like the whole first page is all authoritative websites. It's low comp because there's no other players that look like you in that SERP. But in any case, I just want to make that distinction, okay? So now when we're looking at this question here, what off-page SEO strategy I should go after? Also, the top ranking page for that term is right. See? No links pointing to that page. See, this is where I people will say, oh man, I could beat this Amazon page. There's nothing on the page. They have no links pointing to it. Yeah, but they have tens of thousands of referring domains, and they're pretty well interlinked at the end of the day. And there's stuff in that page. I'm just using Amazon as an example. You go and look at the page and you don't see anything visually. But when you look at the code, you see that, oh my goodness, there's a lot of stuff in here. And they're actually hyper optimized for the term. And because of their authority, they get away with it. Small caveats. But with all that being said, if there's not much competition, but there's traffic, and there's traffic monthly, there's always going to be a subset of people that have shopped at Best Buy and they take too long to ship. They've shopped at Amazon and they're not really too keen on the shipping process or their layout, or that when you buy from Amazon, it's really not from Amazon, it's from some rando, and then they give you crap and they don't give you a refund, right? Or any plethora of reasons. But there's going to be a percentage of people that come see you and you can service and give them the best quality you possibly can. And what I would do is I would take a look and find that key player that's there currently. Take a look at their site, their page, their organic rankings. What are they actually getting from that term or that variation? And then make your decision from there. And I hope that helps you. I want to rank for SEO company nationally or citywide. That is a large feat. You're essentially going up against, especially nationally, like you might be able to take over some areas, but you're essentially going after the best of the best with infinite budgets, right? So with that being said, you want to rank for SEO company nationally or citywide is fair. Do I need to offer every existing SEO surface to build topical authority or depth of concept? Or can I get away with just offering a handful? That wildly depends on, like, if you just want to go after SEO company and optimize a page for SEO company and invest your dollars into SEO company, and then SEO company in these towns or cities in a specific state, you may find success in some of those cities and states. Now, it may be that's I would find a specific market or region that you want to go after if that's what you're dead set on. I don't know if that's just an example, I assume. If that's what you're dead set on, start here, build that authority, and then start adding from that location. That would be my best advice on that. Michael, please make sure to become a member. Oh, thank you, Michael. Oh, and then here I have this cool thing as well. Here you go. Boop. All right. Little QR code. That's new little feature. So enjoy that new feature as I answer another question. All right. So LUBIC, not lube book. Okay. Oh, you're so we're referencing the Texas. Okay. All right. Thank you, the sound session. Okay, no problem. Lubick, not Lubak. That's fair. Okay. Now that that's clarified, Christopher asks, what are the typical things you see clients getting penalties for? Clients? Okay. I did have a about to be client that did at least recently. His name is Yaz. And he he wasn't a current client, but what he got a penalty for, this was the last actual penalty that I've seen, like recently, the last 30 days. And it was actually due to a massive amount of content that was essentially, I guess, considered, he had like a 4,000 page website in a very short period of time, and he was producing a rapid amount of content. And he actually got a content penalty, literally got the email and everything. This was a manual action, not algorithmic, for content. Very surprising. That was the last thing that I saw. But I can gratefully say that we have never received a penalty on a client site. Knock on wood. But I have to be honest. Somebody was busting my chops, which is fine. That's the internet, right? About being a white hat warrior. And there's a difference between your own projects or lead generation, or like, hey, you're taking a swing at something, right? You do things that can be more risky because it's your asset. The only person that it's a risk reward. But there's a wild difference between doing your own stuff and taking a risk and then working on somebody's site that they've been working on, whether they're doing good or not. They've still invested all of that time. That's their digital business card. To them, that's everything. Even if their site's only getting 100 visitors, they've been working on it in their eyes. They've put up the template. They did all the work themselves. Like, there can be no risk. You know what I mean? So on a client site, the probability of generating a manual action is highly unlikely because we're not going to do anything that's going to jeopardize the business ever. And then if there is anything, it's all of the stuff that we do, we maintain, right? So if for some weird reason, if something were to happen link-wise, I'll just go in there and remove the links. Gone. Like, we control everything. That's a big piece of SEO. We control it from beginning until end. So that's that. But yeah, nothing client-wise though, but that's a good question. Thank you about the neighborhood answer for Lubick. That was helpful. Thank you more than SEO. Oh, it's fun. Lucas, man, that color. I don't care. I debated with my friend Craig the other day. This color stands out. I love that color. Maybe it just catches my eye. Maybe it's just me. But that color just jumps out. Look for yourself. Look at this. See, when you're looking in this list here, look down at these photos. Like, this one kind of pops out. But that color, it pops out, doesn't it? I like that color. Anyway, the question here is one question. Okay, it's fair. If you budget for links, non-spammy ones, okay, that's fair. I talk about guest post, niche edits, etc. Would you send them to the GBP or GMB? Or is it better to send them to the page linked to the GMB? It depends on what the goal of the client or the website is, right? Is the objective to rank the GMB? Because if the objective is to rank the GMB, links are an additive, but not the solution for rank. If I'm looking to rank the website, then definitely we're sending them to the site. But let's hone in on the GBP, right? If I'm looking to rank the GMB, and there's a list, there's 100 things that need to be done in order to see success, and one of those things is time, okay? One of the most important things. On that list of things, if there's 100, just to make it more clear, let's say there's 10 things. Number 10 is the links, okay? So, and then on top of that, I'm sending them to Google even if it's a page that's internal or it's not google.com. I mean, it's a subsuit. It's still Google, right? Like, why, if I was sending links there, why would I want to spend, let's say, non-spammy, meaning that we've been overcharged due to cosmetic appeal and or traffic not going to the page that we're getting the link on, right? So I've been overcharged for a link that I'm going to then point at a website that truly, if I'm going to send one referring domain, even if it's from flipping Yahoo, it's still one link. Going to Google, you see what I'm getting at here? So we'd have to look really truly at what's the objective. If the objective is to rank the website, we're sending it to the website. And then by all means, we want to get non-spammy links. However, we are determining that is up to you to decide, but non-spammy links going to the site. And then if we're trying to rank the GBP and there's 5 things to do, links are the very last thing to do, but more like there's 100 things that need to be done. All right. So that's going to be last. That's like you're taking not gasoline, but maybe some starter fluid and throwing it on, right? It gives you a little bit of an oomph. Okay. James. Hey, Chris. Hey, James. Good to see you. How to get star rating markup? There's a few ways to get this, right? So star rating markup, there's review markup, there's review aggregate markup, or our personal favorite is product schema, and then there's a review section within that. All right. So, and you can find actual templates for that right on google.com. It's an enhancement. All right. Is it still worth doing Google Map pins? Google Map pins. It depends, again, goes back to the objective. If the objective is to create pins to somehow influence rankings, not so much. If the objective is to create pins to then perhaps embed into maps or embed into YouTube or link back to YouTube or embed YouTube videos into those, and then or create a KML file, like, what are you doing with that? Is it worth just going to Fiverr, spending the $7.50 and creating a huge grid that just builds a bunch of maps with your name? Nah. But are we going to do something with this? Maybe add it somewhere? Embed YouTube? Are we using it for our website to showcase different points that we've serviced before? Like, is it an added benefit for an end user? So the days of just creating it to get a result, nah. It was always just part of a stack, if anything. I do not see that, my friend. So I hope that helps you out. It depends on what you're doing with it. Can you change the background to Black Hat World? Can I change the background to Black Hat World? I could. I could do anything we want. What trainings are on the horizon? Oh, that's a good piece of information. So first and foremost, what we're going to do is we're going to lay out the rest of on page. We'll finish the on page. The next piece, what I'm thinking, is going to be technical audit cleanup, right? So how do you clean up dead pages, dead wood? How do you take care of GSC specific issues, right? Technical cleanup. The next piece in that series is then going to be schema markup, taking care of the actual schemas that matter, the enhancements that Google outlines. I only want to showcase the ones that you get a enhancement for, how you use them, how you create them, and how you deploy them. And then, the nuances there. The next piece after that is I might go back to my roots. And now that we're at full scale as far as creating a massive network of blogs, I'm thinking or contemplating a training on, how to find a good site. What's a good site look like? What's the difference in power? Why is referring domains matter? What's category specific? Understanding backlinks, and then how to deploy a large scale PBN, essentially. And then lastly, or maybe firstly after the schema, we're going to do a GBP. So GBP beginning till end. I started it, but the gentleman, he's in our group, Darren, I was going to do it with that. I call it zero to hero, right? And that was clear as day. But I was able to get him from 30 to position 7 so rapid. It just was unrealistic. And then he had to close down the business. So it didn't work out. But we went from like 30s and 60s and 35s in a 20-mile radius to a 5. But this was in a small town, or not a 30-mile radius, a 10-mile radius. My mistake. But it happened so quick. So yeah, that is not the typical outcome, not in a week. I actually, I already got the green light. The business closed, so it's okay to show. I'll show you guys this. Timeline, 0 to hero. All right. So this closed down, so it doesn't really matter. And he already said it's okay to show because it's closed now. So with that being said, started optimization here, optimize the products, optimize services to mirror the site, built out some reviews, note the reviews were organic, state specific, including location, details, owner's name, business name, image included, vehicle that was actually tinted. So it was a specific imagery, right? Generated 1,000 impressions for the business name by daily. Okay. Generated 50 clicks per day to the website, 50 clicks per day, clicking the call, added link from site to GBP, adding directional map on websites, right? So a directional map on the website made that connection. All right, so here's the directional map, just in case anybody was unclear. Okay, there it is. Outbound link on homepage going to the maps listing. Back to that connection, we're using a link. Services are mirroring the website. So like what services were there? Well, that's exactly what we added here. Products included primary location pointing to the website from the product area. So we have primary category and then the locations where we had the pages. Okay. Again, this shut down. It's gone now. So it doesn't really matter if you go looking. If there's something there, it changed. Set categories to primary keywords on the website. So these are the categories of the products. And then the results. So 12.7, here we go. Here's 12.19. So we did the optimization here. Here's the tracking results. So 26, 31, 26, and then bam on the 27th. Here we go. So it was like poof. And that was pretty much it. There was other small things that I didn't track, but exactly what exactly what we offer and exactly what I not tell you, but suggest that you guys do, and gals, everyone, optimize the profile, services, products, categories, description, get it on point, make sure it's hyper specific, start in a small region, start running clicks, and then on the website, we increase in brand impressions, right? So that's included. So we're doing brand impressions, searches, we're running clicks to website and any conversion action, right? And then we just recently introduced review clicking. So that's just something separate. So, but either way, thank you for asking, Keith. But yeah, that's, if you have a different suggestion, what I'm really looking to do, there used to be a gentleman that taught SEO. He's a friend of mine. I got to meet him and hang out with him again in Scottsdale, but he had a training. I forget what he called it. His name was Chase, but he had like essentially the SOP, but it broke down each element, but into also mini sections. So then he took all the mini sections and put it into one. And I always like that. Like, okay, hey, we got a site. Well, what hosting do we choose? All right. Right. Like, what template do we use? Okay. What plugin should we have? If we're going WordPress, most people do. So I want to just break down the process and then break down each of the pieces. That's my goal with mini trainings coming next. Like that's next. And I decided to go with on page first. Hey, Chris, what's the best way to rank on GMB for a catering company, weddings and parties? Hey, Chris, what is the best way? Okay. Hey, Chris, what's the best way to rank on GMB for a catering company, weddings and parties? Man, that's a very broad question, Rain. Starts with the website, right? And the technical side, technical being speed. All right. What builder, what you're hosting is massively important. What CDN or, which content delivery network are you going to use for your images to speed things up? Like those elements, the technical. Then we start thinking about the website. Well, which keyword specifically, which location specifically, which informational keywords specifically are we going to target? Are they the best? Should I target all these cities? In those cities, which pages are actually ranking and how much traffic do they actually get? Right? Keyword research. Then let's start laying out the pages. Well, let's figure out what's the word count, what's the header count, what's our density, how many images do I need? Should I have a video? Should I embed the video? Host the video? A plethora of questions related to the content. Then we need to move the on page, off page. How many referring domains? What's the anchor text? What type of anchor text? How many authoritative links do they have? Do they have a social media presence? Do they consistently do social media? Do they have RSS links? Do they have podcast links? Very broad question, my friend. Okay. But I hope that helps you out some. For Web 2 properties, which allow multiple kinds of links, multimedia, such as public, wakelet collections, what are your suggestions on how to rank those wakelet URLs? I'm not sure what you mean by this. On their own, Parasite SEO. I don't know what a wakelet is. Maybe I'm missing the boat here. And Keith, do you care if I show your stuff publicly? If not, it's okay. I completely understand. Just let me know in the chat because we'll go in there and do that right now. You know what I mean? Here, let me see.
It's mine. No, this is.
Let me just see if who the flip is this? Okay. Let me message. Give me 1 second. I just want to see what is going on here. My phone's buzzing. Excuse me. I'm going to see, like, what are you guys doing? Okay. Where were we? Wakelet. So, okay. So this is a Parasite, I assume? All right. So we have a Web 2.0. We want to, let's say, rank this Wakelet collection. I've never ranked a Wakelet collection page, but I have utilized parasites. And the process that you're utilizing in order to rank a page, which I've covered a few times so far today, right? Looking at word count, looking at optimization. The benefit of why we're utilizing Parasite is because the second part of it, building authority and waiting time, we generally don't have to do because I'm getting rewarded. So I don't know how Wakelet works, but when we were looking to rank on, say, Google Communities for a different variety of products, we had to go and figure out, well, what exactly do we have to say? How many times? Like the optimization process is still the same, except for we didn't have the I don't want to say the benefit, but we didn't have the pain of waiting the time nor having to build that many links to the asset. What I would say though, at least with say Google Communities or whatever the parasite is, sometimes a boost, some visibility, high dwell, happiness from the customer can be helpful. All right. So that's what I would look for. All right. So I hope that helps you. All right. So have you seen any ranking issues from Google Business Profile? Have I seen any ranking issues? Only if, sometimes no matter what the platform is, even if you're only looking at Google Search Console or Google Business Profile Analytics, it's almost like reference points. They are still, man, I'm at a loss of words for some reason. They are not anecdotal. In any case, if I'm seeing stuff on SEMrush, it's still just giving me a glimpse of what is actually coming in. Even Search Console, like it's telling you how much you're getting, but maybe you're getting more. Sometimes you're getting less, or like the data sources aren't 100% accurate, right? It's giving me an overview. It's giving me an idea. So sometimes if we start off a little too hot, or if we start off not hot enough, sending in enough clicks, enough interaction, enough sit time, enough dwell time, the right variance of keywords. Like if we haven't got the math quite right from the door, generally there needs to be an adjustment within 2 weeks, 21 days. Sometimes it takes a month, right? Depending on workload and like, hey, did we go back and check? Have we seen, are we getting what we need? Are we going up? Are we going down? If we start dumping, I get an alert. But if we're going up but not going up fast enough, sometimes we won't see it for 21 days, So with that being said, that's the only time I'm seeing any type of issues. Now, there are some markets like Fort Worth, Texas, or big cities, super high populated cities where you're in a market where it's super saturated, right? Sometimes it takes a little bit longer, but these are the only things that, the process won't overcome, right? And process being proper optimization throughout the profile, consistent amount of traffic, the right amount of traffic, the right amount of times for the right keywords, and then building that last piece, which is going to be the review. Like, are you actually doing business? And then does it make sense? Does what you're corresponding here correspond on the site? Is it make sense? So hopefully that helps you out. Hey, Chris, love your energy, bro. I'm happy to. Thank you. I mean, it's been a little bit of a long one today, so it's getting towards the end here, but I truly appreciate it. Usually I'm a little bit more up, but I'm having a lot of fun still, so that's why I'm still here. But the question here is, Chris, what's your thoughts on choosing real estate teams and brokerages as a niche for my web design and SEO agency? I'm worried that it would not be a good niche to provide SEO to. Okay, let's take a look at this briefly. What are your thoughts on choosing real estate teams and brokerages as a niche for my web design and SEO agency? I'm worried that it would not be a good niche to provide SEO to. Real estate teams or a real estate broker? I love the real estate space. I think I never went out looking. Broker, you might have to go up a little farther. See, I love real estate, but I'll tell you this, I dislike working with real estate agents. Real estate agents is no good. Not for me. I dislike that immensely. Now, I do work with a real estate agent in Philadelphia, in a specific part of Philadelphia, right? And she does phenomenally well. I'm trying to think of another one that we have. Oh, I have another young lady, relatively young, nice lady, in Long Island. So they do well, but I've had numerous cases. I had a gentleman, we were doing USDA loans, right? Pain, big pain. I don't know. I've had a lot over the years. I've never done these two particular, but what I would do is just like with anything, I would take a look at what subset you're looking at. All right. If there's opportunity there, there's somebody already chasing that dream, right? If they're already chasing and you can tell they're chasing, I'd look around in markets, right? Take a look at their asset. What is actually driving traffic? Is it information? Is it high commercial intent? And then which keywords specifically are driving traffic? And then once you find that keyword, then start looking around in other markets and see, hey, is this scalable? If you come to the realization that the answers are yes, then yes, I do think it's a good idea. Real estate is an excellent niche, but it's only one of many, right? The car space is sick too. So is gold. There's, real estate's great, but there are many, 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 many opportunities. Just do your due diligence first, because once you are, it's all in or nothing, right? All in or nothing. This is where I've failed in the past. You either all in or out. So make your decision clear, make your decision wisely. That's my best advice, my friend. And I wish you luck. But if yeah, but if you're going after real estate investors, buckle up, because that's my market. Will you ever do Google Ads training? Yes, I will. Yes, in the last year and a half, I never want to start talking about, definitely don't want to start teaching something unless I know it, right? And then you can study something and know something and start teaching it, but that's wildly different than actually doing it. Like SEO. I do SEO every day, and I've been doing SEO every day for a decade, a long time, right? I have no problem teaching it, talking it. I don't know all the answers, but I know a lot of them because I've gone through the trouble already. With ads, I've been doing ads now for myself and a few clients, like LSAs, Google Maps, scaling different projects, trying to get enough money spent to get the certification from Google. I know it doesn't matter, but it does to me. To be able to say, hey, I've had this much money under spend in my marketing account. I've been doing it. Here's my success. Here's what I'm doing. And I'm actively still doing it. I'm not just teaching it, right? So once I feel that confidence that I know the answers and I know I can help, then I will definitely start teaching it. And that's going to be very, very soon, because I'm starting to understand the tracking. I'm starting to understand a lot of the nuances and the type of spends that achieve actual results. Understanding, it's not about, at first you're looking, you spend $500 and you're like, man, I actually lost money on this. Like, yeah, I got 2 customers, but I technically lost. I had to spend $500 to get 2 new customers. They came in and bought $50 items. That's one aspect of it. But what I quickly realized is it's actually about overall, no, I spent $500 to earn 2 new customers that on average in a lifetime spend this. And that's it. I kind of dislike the because it's all money in, money out, and everything, people, businesses, and everything is dwindled down to numbers. So I don't like that aspect of it, but you can expect a lot of advertising content coming. Yes, for sure. And then I'll always start small, just like when I started dabbling with the SEO, it started like answering simple questions and then, get deeper. Then we start getting more technical, So there you go. Why? Cool channel name. We have a client that provided legal services for law firms. The majority of competitors have physical offices in the same county, but are closer to these law firms. Client will not move the office. Why? Well, they didn't say why, but it says why here. We have a client that provides legal service for law firms. They provide legal service for law firms. Interesting. The majority of competitors have physical offices in the same county, but are closer to these law firms. Client won't move office. I just can't visualize it. Okay. So they provide legal service for the law firms? So your client does work for the law firms. All of the competitors are closer to the target market, but your client won't move closer to the target market. But why do they have to move? Why can't they have more than one office, or why can't they have a satellite office or a call center? Right? It's not that they necessarily have to move, but why can't they have an addition? And have an addition in order to be able to capture more market share, right? It's positions on a game board. That's all Google Maps is, right? Pins in the board. If I move a pin or add a pin, I'm able to get more position on the board, right? Essentially, that's all it is, really. So I don't know. I'm with them on, hey, let's not move. We've done all this work. Why rock the boat? But I would maybe suggest that adding another lure to the water would be wildly helpful in capturing more clients, right? Or fish, if we go back to the analogy. All right. So moving on. Martino, have you thought about having an option for all of your SEO courses in one pack? I have, with a discount instead of a la carte. Shopping cart, of course. So, I mean, if you're so yes and no. So no matter what, anything new, I'm always going to offer to the broad audience a la carte, one at a time. Because it's new. I spend my time, I put effort, and I want to offer it. But almost always, and definitely moving forward, after the initial people that I'm trying to reach get reached, right? I generally move it to the SEO Mastermind, where you can have access to it and go through it. As far as when it becomes that's it, right? So if it's something brand new, I'm going to offer it to the main audience, and then I move it into Mastermind, where it's included, or you can get individually. Now, what I've been contemplating now is building out essentially the SOP, but in training format, where it's like, okay, you get a business, but where do you start? Like, what's the technical aspects? What's the website? What's the host? Why? And why? And then, okay, here's how you do this. Here's how you set up the site. Here's how you put the theme in. Here's like literally beginning until end. Because I've realized that there's a lot of information, but it's usually, I don't want to say the wrong information, but it's the fun stuff, And then if they're doing the basic stuff, they do it so cleanly that it's actually not the most efficient way to do things, or the fastest way, or the best way. It's not our way. It's not my way. So I have contemplated it, and that's the main objective moving forward. Is, hey, let's take basic concepts, but let's take advanced concepts and make them basic. And that's my number one favorite thing to do, is to take something that's actually complex and make it as simple as I possibly can, so everybody can understand and deploy it. That's been my goal since the beginning of time. Hey, Chris, how important is it for the services on GMB to exactly match the services on a website? The services themselves, very important. The category, though, might not always change, but I will mention that within the page. So, for instance, if you're an SEO agency, there's no such a thing. But there is internet marketing service or marketing consultant, right? So I'm going to put internet marketing service inside my website. I'm actually going to talk about SEO, but I'll write in the body text internet marketing service. Hopefully that makes sense to you. But services themselves, not products, but services, it's going to match exactly what's in my navigation and what is on the site. Products, it's going to link to the exact site. And if I have location pages in products, it's going to link to those location pages. It's going to be identical in service and products. Category is the only thing that you can't always get spot on. So I think I found the option. Brainbox SEO Mastermind. There you go. Bingo. Thank you so much, Chris. You're the best. It's my pleasure, brother. That's why I'm here. And then more than SEO, it's the last question. I just wanted to say thank you for all your answers to everyone's questions tonight. Looking forward to going back and studying today's recommendations you made. Have a great weekend. And that pretty much wraps it up, actually. I went in over an hour. So we did 3 tonight. That was, well, I didn't realize. Last time I looked down, it said 6:20. So that tells you I had fun. I don't see Keith. He didn't give me a green light, so I'm not going to show it. But he has some technical things that, this Keith right here. Keith, I assume you're not on any longer, but if you decide to be, I'll go a little bit longer. What's HU? Huh? I don't know what HU means, but okay. I'm thinking to start at a local directory for properties. Is it worth it? Hey, in my opinion, no. Now, but that's up to you, right? Like, I watched, I actually listened to it. I listened to a podcast with the Airbnb guy, the Arab bread and breakfast guy, and it was something really tiny, and everybody told him no way, not going to happen, and it was just a small little company in a small little area, and then boom, right? And then it got smoked during COVID or whatnot, but so that, and then that same idea has happened numerous times. So in my opinion, would that be what I would go for? No. But if that's what you want to do, go for it. Right? But I would be mindful. This was a long session. Yes, it was. But I had fun. So, hey, I gotta run. I truly appreciate your time. If you can, please, if you haven't worked with us yet, we prefer white label, but there it is. All right, chrispalmer.org. Check us out. There's a QR code. You can go there on your phone if you want. Scan that code. If not, you can check out chrispalmer.org for consultation and or white label services done with you or done for you services. Aside from that, SEOmastermind.org. We have 2 groups. One's a testing group. The other one is group coaching, just like this. Besides that, we have the YouTube Mastermind. And don't forget, if you need mobile proxies, proxypixie.com. Now, coming very, very soon, because who else would I tell these things to if not you, right? Very, very soon. Very, very soon. Probably 2 months away from actually being done, but a month away from launching. Search engine optimization tools.com. Search engine optimization tools.com. Just got the design done, got the front end done. you can look forward to delicious things such as Entity Tool. But on top of that, oh, it doesn't show us here, but what I will tell you is Entity Tool, Maps Checker, Grids Checker, CTR dashboard, so you can do your CTR or website clicks from a delicious dashboard, which is also going to give you ranking result reports automatically. In all honesty, it's going to help our service because doing the reports is manual. It's a real pain. So we want to automate that, but also offer tracking. We're also to enhance our citation service. We're going to have a citation checker. So we've already built the citation checker in extension form, but we're adding it to the SaaS or to the platform. So that way you can check your leading competitors for the most authoritative citations, check them, create a list, give it to us, we build it. And it doesn't matter what country you're in, CA, AU, UK, or USA, we'll go and build it. Those are the four we're going to start in, but the checker will work anywhere. On top of that, you know, the geolocation changer that I use all the time inside the videos, we're going to give that away for free. Citation checker. That'll be part of the system, and then we can build the citations if you want, but we'll probably give the checker away for free. Yeah. And then, here's the other piece. Another piece that I really love. Another aspect is the keyword cannibalization. Now, everybody else is having the client set up API access and going through all this process. Business owners are getting lost. But what they can do is they can export from Google Search Console. We can analyze and give you the report. And that's what we're looking to do. So I'm super stoked on this. And then the big project that is going to be added here is the math that we use for on-page. We're going to put it into a tool. So excited for that. I want it to be an extension, but we'll see. I don't know if we can run all the processes from an extension, but we're going to try because that would be so much faster, easier, cheaper, just so much cooler, more easily accessible. Search engine optimization tools. Don't forget proxypixie.com. My partner's already yelling at me for this cost. The price is going up. 4G proxies, we have you covered. Mobile, shared, dedicated. They rotate depending on what you want. If you're doing web scraping, we can rotate every minute or two. Dedicated is dedicated for you. We'll set whatever you want. Shared, it's going to be on a 15-minute interval. So it just depends on your interval is really what matters here. Okay. And then you guys and gals already know about SEOmastermind.org, I hope. If you don't, now you do. What we're looking at here, or what we're doubling down on, is the testing group is really where I want to focus my attention. I might move this group over here. Might just all be on YouTube. I haven't decided that yet, but maybe. And then really, the big one in the pipeline too, I guess that could be helpful just so it's out there, is SEOtesters.com. I've had this, I've put it up, I've taken it down, but we're going to take some of our tests, a large percentage of tests that I don't share with my group. I want to start giving some of that away. So then you could see why we come up with the answers we come up with. The reason is because we test it. We test and we see. I want to give that away. So that'll be super cool. So don't forget, search engine optimization tools, SEO Mastermind, chrispalmer.org, and of course, the blog. So that's a lot of fun, right? Isn't that fun? It's been a pleasure. Thank you so much. I love you guys. I truly appreciate your time. Thank you so much. Many blessings, and I'll see you in the next one. Have a great night. Thank you for your time tonight.